So Greg Reed says, what are those sports guys going to talk about now?
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM Beasley Reed Acquisitions or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Yeah. MONDAY SUCKS.
Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. Mom and Dad were playing tag right there on the bed. Mommy used her boobies as a pillow for Daddy's head. Mommy's head was bobbing. She almost got whiplash. I don't know what she was drinking, but she got a milk mustache. Peeping through the keyhole, ain't sure what I see.
Squirt, squirt.
But I sure do like it more than anything on TV. Mom and Dad were hooked together like my Lincoln logs. Last time I saw something like that, Mom was yelling at the door. Yeah. Dad was breathing heavy. Mom was on her knees. He must have had a boo-boo cause she kissed him where he pees. Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. But we watched a little longer, and I started to get sick. If Daddy's name is Elmer, why Mom asked for Dick? Daddy groaned and his eyes rolled back. Mommy wanted more. She climbed back on top of him, but all he did was snore. Peeping through the keyhole as the minutes pass.
Oh!
I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class. Well, I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class.
10:03 at 560 WQAM. Boy, I'm telling you, I got it. I got the cold. I got the flu. I got the cold. I got the sore throat. Although I don't sound that bad, do I? See, if I would have stayed home today, that would have been real bad. The litmus test for me is I stand in front of the mirror, and if I can talk to myself, then I come in. And if I can't talk, I don't come in. I still come in. Anyway, speaking of peeping through the keyhole, here's our great letter to the editor. Let's not hold this back. Now, which paper is this? I guess this is the Sun Sentinel. One of the greatest letters in the history. This is this morning's Sun Sentinel. Movie was misnamed, and the letter is written by Walter George in Delray Beach.
Boy!
And sitting on a bench in...
Boy!
Short and right to the point. Wait till you hear this. I recently saw the film Shakespeare in Love, which won this year's Academy Award for Best Film. The movie should have been titled Shakespeare in Bed, or better yet, Shakespeare in Lust. To depict as love two people constantly clawing at each other on screen is typical Hollywood fare. Oh, God. This is so South Florida, this letter, you know. Oh. I got to read that last sentence again. To depict as love two people constantly clawing at each other on screen is typical Hollywood fare. That's probably why those kids are shooting everybody up. They're shooting it.
Squirt, squirt.
Yeah. Like I said, more sex and less violence. That's what we need in America. Speaking of that, by the way, I got a great book for you. Every now and then I come up with a book that I say, hey, I'm only just the beginning, or I've only just begun. About 30 or 40 pages of this one, but I know that a lot of people want to buy this book. It's brand new. It's hardcover. It's called Making a Killing, The Business of Guns in America by Tom Diaz. And I know that the gun huggers out there, especially that one asshole that's always called me up, tell me how smart he is and how dumb I am, that gun squeezer, Mr. Concealed Weapons Permit guy, he'll be a psychotic hearing me talk about this. Great book, Making a Killing, The Business of Guns in America by Tom Diaz. It's on the new press. It's in hardcover. It's in your bookstores. Buy it today. Let me just read one interesting thing from here, okay? Because I'm hearing this all the time, every time we see the gun nuts on there. Well, we've already got 20,000 laws. Gun advocates often assert that the U.S. has got more than 20,000 gun control laws at the local, state, and federal level. In their view, the U.S. is already overregulated, and our gun violence problems would go away if only these 20,000 laws were strictly enforced. But what they do not say is that even assuming there actually are 20,000 such laws, the vast majority of them don't regulate the sale or possession of guns. Rather, most of them deal with collateral questions like zoning laws that regulate where gun stores and shooting ranges can be located, or that set limits on transporting and discharging firearms within city limits, those kinds of laws that have nothing to do with buying, selling, or owning guns. It says the fact is that any adult who is not a convicted felon, convicted spouse or child abuser, or an adjudicated mental defective can legally buy a gun almost anywhere in the United States. Also in the New Yorker magazine this week, there's a great article about it. The same attorneys that went after the tobacco industry are now going after the gun industry. Oh! All right. And they're all psychotic about it, of course. Still getting faxes, by the way, about Friday's show. If you missed Friday's show, your life isn't worth living. I'll tell you that right now. That was, seriously, that was the epitome of my life. Yeah, exactly. All I can say after Friday's show is, yeah, about the millennium, about the year 2000. When does the next millennium begin? Here's 2 faxes, by the way. It says the conversations today, meaning Friday, regarding calendars and centuries is further proof of the 60-35-5 rule. 60% of the world's population are ignorant, 35% are stupid, and the remaining 5% are intelligent. The vast majority of today's callers fell into the 35% category, assuming that most of the 60% category is comprised of people from third world areas, excluding South Florida. This is the third world, baby. You turd. Here's another fax that says, you know, we could start this all over again. I'm confident of that.
Why not?
We could do a month on this. Well, you know, the Heat lost, so this station's in big trouble. Yeah, Defo says to me in the hall this morning, he says, oh, gee, how are you going to escape talking about the Heat? I says, no, the real question is, what are you guys going to talk about for the next 3 or 4 months now? Just like I said on Friday, what happens if the Heat wound up getting eliminated by the Knicks? And I said, well, you know, the Marlins are hot. They won a couple of games. And he went, yeah. Here's a fact that says, of course, there was no year zero because back in so-called biblical times, those people were so stupid they had no way to express the value of zero. Most Western civilizations were unable to express the value of zero until the time of the Renaissance. This is a fact. It says, period and end. Oh! Exactly. How do you like that? Okay, so if you have 10 apples and you start counting it at 0. Huh? Yeah. Don't you start like with, okay, start with your thumb. Here you go. Here's finger number 0. See, I think a lot of these people, they relate their lives to everything else. So the fact that most of them are big is, you know, they can't get the 0 out of there. They can't get the big out of their lives. Just like that Shakespeare in Love. He couldn't forget about the big over and over and over again. And Walter George at Delray Beach is pretty pissed off about it. To depict as love 2 people constantly clawing at each other on screen is typical Hollywood fare, which is why so many people are racing to see the movies. You're a jackass, Walter. Probably ain't getting any either at your advanced age. I bet you Walter's over the age of 100. Easy. So, by the way, anybody see Hank on the Preakness the other day? Saturday, did a good job. Picked the wrong horse, of course, but then again, so did I. The filly, she's still, she had a little bit of a problem. They had to ease her up. The great story of the Preakness, by the way, was the Chris Antley story. What a tremendous story that is. What great hope for all us fat people, including Hank. No, actually, he looked good on there. He looked... that was funny. And at least his mic worked. They had some terrible audio problems there in ABC. Jim McKay, in between shaking and his mic didn't work. And then after the race, Chris Antley's coming back on Charismatic, and he's talking, bop, 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 you know, and Al Michaels couldn't hear him. Can't hear you, Chris. Yeah, but here I am talking. Yeah, can't hear you. Okay. A few problems there. But that's a big story. Here's a guy that he had vanished from the scene. I had no idea what happened to Chris Antley, and he like pigged out. He had drug problems, he had booze problems, and then he had a big fat boy problem. Gained about 30 or 40 pounds, something like that, way over his riding weight, and worked and just feverishly made a great comeback. What a story, huh? Especially if he wins the Triple Crown. Oh! Nice going there, Chris, who was born in Fort Lauderdale, by the way. Anybody know that?
No.
10 past 10 at 560 WQAM if you're...
I need some hand clapping.
You don't need to use a condom. You don't need a dental dam. You don't need to say I love you or here's $50, man. You don't need to spring for dinner or wear all that sexy stuff. All you need's a set of fingers and a wanker or a muff. Look, everybody's doing it all across the land. Masturbators of America, give yourselves a hand. Well, it's natural and organic. It's easy and it's fun. You don't know how to do it, ask your parents how it's done. You don't need a special license, you don't need a special skill. Just unzip and slip your grip between your hips and get a thrill. Cause everybody's doing it, and boy, it does feel grand. Masturbators of America, give yourselves a hand. You can do it in the bathroom, you can do it in your bed. You can do it at a concert while you watch the Grateful Dead. You can rub it with some lotion. You can scope it with a dog. Arnold Schwarzenegger pounds it. Michael Jackson jacks it off. Your attitude will soften. Your horizons will expand. Masturbators of America, give yourselves a hand.
All right. 10:15 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank Goldberg at Chula's today. We got Talking Baseball with Donnie B, 6:30. Or whatever the hell it is, 6 to 6:30, and a Marlin pregame. The Marlins and the Cubs at PP Park. Any interest now? They're hot. They won 5 out of 9, man.
No.
Any interest at all?
No.
Come on. Here's a fax, by the way, that says, Neil and George, I'm writing to thank you for suggesting that I use All Points limo service. I called George and got Ken Halpern's number last week. What a great guy, it says.
Oh!
It was prom night and everything was booked, but he still got us a limo and helped make my wife's birthday celebration a great success. Thanks again, Neil and George. You guys are surrounded by quality people, at least away from the radio station. Signed Bruce with his name there. Attaboy, Bruce. Hey, you know, the best part of it, I got a major bulletin, by the way. Are you ready for this? This is such exciting news that it deserves. Okay. You'll never guess what we discovered here this morning in the building on the 3rd floor. Right down the hall here, to my right. Are you ready for this? 400 guesses. The first 399 don't count. Duff got his desk. Oh! Now, it does have a scratch. It's a factory second. But he got a goddamn desk, and, of course, it's made from, what do they call that stuff that's like make-believe?
Particle board?
Particle board. I'm sure it's particle board. It's not like a real wooden desk. But Duff got a desk. They got rid of the high chair. Oh! Right. It's a monumental day here at WQAM. What I was starting to say is I think there could be a little message here. For the almost, what was it, like over a year, we were down in our little makeshift studio on the 2nd floor. Then, and of course the rest of QAM was over on Sheridan Street in that toilet. Then we all finally move over here up onto the 3rd floor. And all of a sudden now, everybody else has moved down to the 2nd floor. Oh! They keep running away from us. I think there just could be a message there. Here's Boca. Hello.
Yes, I am very mad at DeForest. What his parents did to my mother, they bought a lamp from them.
Yeah, okay, right. Whatever you say, pal. I have no idea what you're hucking and trying to about, okay? Call him up, okay? Call up Jeff DeFlorist and whatever crap you're talking about, some stupid lamp. I think you ought to go rub your lamp or rub something. Hey, there you go, right there. Picked up right where we left off last week. I can see this is going to be spectacular today. You can feel it. Look at that. Not a call on the board. There's not anybody that's got... They're still counting there. You know, I gave them the assignment for over the weekend. Starting at 0. They haven't got to 2,000 yet. No, seriously. You can't expect these people to be calling in now. They're up to about 1,300. When you get to 1,800, give us some warning, because then we'll know that we'll be getting close to the end of your counting time. They're probably hanging out with Scotty Mac. Uno, dos, tres. WQAM.
Hey, George, I'd love to talk to Neil on the mobile in Miami.
Okay, what do you want to call about, sir?
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Good. Well, George is busy cleaning himself off after he just upchucked his soda after I did that line about the county. Go ahead.
I understand. Neil, I've been out of town the last couple of weeks, and I was curious as to your opinion on that young African-American girl who ran over that motorcyclist up in Pompano and killed him, put his kid in the hospital. What do you
mean my opinion about that? And why is it necessary that you mentioned that she was African-American, unless, of course, you wanted to make a point? Was there a point in here somewhere? Next thing you're going to be telling us about the Jeffersons yesterday, with or without George Jefferson, and about the intruders there at the thing.
You still there, Neil?
What is it?
So the reason I found it funny was that all these activists saying she's a college basketball player, she got a scholarship.
I don't give a rat's ass if she's a goddamn genius. She ran over somebody and killed him dead, and she's going to have to. Too bad. Bigoted prick. Jeffersons and Hemmingses gather. 86th reunions, more like a family feud, it says. See, if they would have had George Jefferson there, they could have had a good time. But you know the reason they had to keep him out? Because he's a, yeah, don't say it. Sherman Helmsley. Isn't that what it says? Jeffersons and Helmsleys gather. Sherman Helmsley, they took a vote on him and said, oh, yeah, we don't want no here. And it wasn't blacks they were talking about either. Speaking of that, by the way, I can't, I don't know how to say this. Because I won't even tell you. I had an interesting weekend, by the way. I was in Toronto over the weekend. Guess who was on a plane yesterday coming back? I'm sitting up there in first class. And, of course, I'm always the first one on a plane, and as close to possible the first one to getting off, depending on where I'm sitting up there in first class. Robbie Niedermeyer and Nikki Taylor, they came on air. Oh! Didn't see me, thank God. I could have said something, but probably wouldn't have been a good idea. I don't know what kind of mood he was in. I guess they were up there for the hockey game Saturday night. How about those Maple Leafs, huh? Oh! Notice none of those Pittsburgh people calling in yet today. But anyway, so they come on the plane. I'm sitting there very amused seeing them come on together. And they wander and they're going back. And I'm thinking, they're going pretty far back there. There's only 4 or 5 rows on there in first class on Air Canada. And they keep going back and they're in coach. Oh, man. Here's a guy that's making $2.7 million a year. God only knows how much she's raking in with all her, she's just a humongous celebrity with her big, talent. And they're sitting in coach. Well, they probably couldn't get into first class. We had it all tied up. Oh, my God. So anyway, I had an interesting awakening experience. That's all I can tell you. And like I've said so many times before on the air, just keep one thing firmly embedded in your mind. In life, in this life, and especially in this country, on the surface, whatever things appear, believe me, that's not the way things really are. That's all I'm going to say. However things appear, trust me when I tell you, that's usually not how they are. Am I making myself clear?
No.
Good, thank God. That's good. That's the idea. Just one of those things. So are they up to 1,600 yet, or what?
No.
They're still counting fingers, toes, appendages. Here's a mobile in Tamarack. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Like
yes,
you're
sir.
saying, everything that glitters is not gold, is what you're trying to say.
Even Gary Glitter.
Calling about, I trust your opinion on restaurants and food, and have for many years. You sent me to a restaurant out McNabb, I believe it was, La Tavernera.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you have any other favorite little gourmet places that you might turn me on to. No.
Okay, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. What was that? What kind of a call was that? What was that? We had the first guy that wants to pick on Defoe's family, which I don't know anything about Defoe's family, or if they're in business, or if there is such. I don't know anything about that. All I know is he's fat. And now that the Heat lost yesterday by a point, blew that game. Oh, and I noticed pages and pages and pages. You would have thought we just had World War III start here in this town. All these psychotic sports writers in this place, man, including that Dan LeBastard, he gets exposed as a fraud. You're a fraud, Dan. You're a piece of crap. Talk about front-running phonies, man. These guys can turn on a dime in a heartbeat. 1 minute, oh, they're great, they're going to win, and they lose the game. They're a fraud, they're counterfeit, they're a bunch of crap. They let us down. Well, guess what? They lost. Life goes on. Stop getting so excited about a big bunch of 7-foot Schwarzes. I told you that before, okay? It's a black people's sport. Stop getting so whipped up into a frenzy about it. And like I said before, the big sports story and the big human interest, we're always looking for human interest stories when something good happens. We have the horrible human interest stories where lots of bad, horrendous things happen, like out there in Colorado and elsewhere. And now we have this Chris Antley story coming out of the Kentucky Derby in the Preakness with 2/3 of the Triple Crown won. Here's a guy that was a great rider. See, we had a series of these. There's a big thing about Stevie Cawthon in here, by the way, who rode the last Triple Crown winner, affirmed in 1978. And how he's pulling for Charismatic and hopes he wins the Triple Crown. Steve Cawthon was the first, in my generation anyway, of these famous kid jockeys, you know. And then there was Cash Asmussen, and then there was like Chris Antley was the next one after that, and then Kent DeSormo. And Antley kind of like disappeared from view, and little did any of us know that he was doing another Pat Valenzuela. He was doing cocaine, he was doing booze, he was blowing up like a balloon, auto racing for 2 years, from the top right to the bottom. Kind of like Ricky Martin, only the other way around. And now Ricky's back on the bottom is what I'm hearing. And so he's sitting there like in total despair one day, and he's watching, he sees a horse race on TV, and he's thinking to himself, God, that's what I used to do. It's some cornball, you know, but it's a great story. And so he makes up his mind. Even his father says, forget it, it's too much of a task, you're out of shape, you're 42 pounds overweight, you'll never, and he works his way feverishly back, gets down to riding weight, and comes back and wins the first 2 turds of the Triple Crown. What a story. Nice going, Chris. Oh! From Fort Lauderdale. God, I'm gagging over here. The only thing I'm hoping is that if they do a human interest story, which you can be sure they will, please don't let that Jim Huber do it on CNN. You know who Jim Huber is? No, you wouldn't. This is the guy who always does the human interest sports stories, usually golf. He covers a lot of golf. And every story sounds the same. All they have to do is play violins, hearts and flowers in the background, and Jim Huber is doing, I mean, it's unbelievable. First we had Haywood Hale Broun, and then we had Jack Whitaker, and they either died or they put him out to pasture or whatever, and now we got Jim Huber on CNN. He's the kind of guy that would call in on one of the shows on this station and say, a very young Florida Gator team, you know, that kind of crap. And people would be like peeing in their pants all over America. Jim Huber, get him off of my TV, okay? Get him off my set. That's what's wrong with America is Jim Huber. I'm telling you that right now. Here's Margate. Hello.
1,430.
Yeah, okay, keep going. He's up to 1,400. Nice going, sir. See, they got no material. I'm playing music today. I got a little scratch in my throat. I could have stayed home. I could have fought the good fight, stayed the hell home on a Monday especially, knowing what kind of crap it was going to be today, especially after last Monday. But no, I came in here prepared to do my duty, do it like a scout, like a trooper. And this audience, again, living up to their usual billing, dead as a frickin' doornail. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, sir?
Okay, sir.
You just make a remark. You say it's a black people's sport.
Can't hear a word you're saying, pal. Get the mush out of your phone or out of your mouth, okay? Next time you call, can't understand a goddamn word you're saying. And have a nice day. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, what a show. Love it. Saw the article in the newspaper the other day. Don't believe that article, man. You still suck, you big-nosed Jew.
Yeah, okay, great. 567-0560. Now, see, they're just like last Monday. They have nothing to say. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. My call to you is not about your particular show, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's about the worst team.
Yeah, well, call them up and tell them about it, okay? 1026 at 560 WQM if you want.
Roger's got.
Hey, you're a nice kid, Robbie, but you just don't have it, okay, sweetheart? You can't cut it. Have a nice life. Don't go away, man, Robin. Just go away.
No matter how hard I try, can't get her to date a guy. That's just how it is. She won't touch a penis. Chastity, I'm grieving. It's so hard in believing, 'cause it's really lots of fun to date a guy who's really hung. Oh, I can't believe she's a lesbian. There must be something wrong that she's gay. I really don't know where I went wrong, no. I can't believe she's a lesbian. I really don't know where I went wrong. Maybe she heard Sonny sing our song. Oh.
So you're back.
Okay, 1032 at 560 WQAM. That's right, so I'm back. That's, every time I'm on a plane and I come in, like last night about 10:15, and a plane is coming in over, especially at nighttime, where you see the lights of the city, and here's all this big, gigantic mass. It all kind of like, there's nothing that stands out. It's just this big mass of light. And I know it's Miami. And I well up, and my brain just starts contracting, and I feel this tremendous sense of depression and psychosis. And I think to myself, oh, it's such a good idea that they don't let guns on airplanes because I know I'd blow my brains out. Or maybe just somebody else's, just to release the pressure and the psychosis. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Anybody up to 1300 yet?
No.
Keep counting. Come on. Here's the Mobile in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil. God,
Yes,
I'm an Albanian and I'm pissed off, Neil.
Uh-huh.
I keep thinking about that scene from The Godfather where Clemens is teaching Michael how to shoot the gun, in the basement. He's saying, yeah,
If they would have stopped Hitler at Munich, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we should send Luca Brasi.
Okay, great. Here's a Mobile in Lantana. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Florida resident, and I am sick of the stupidity in this town. I have to get out of here. I mean, run.
I got news for you, pal. This town ain't changing. Nothing's going to change here.
It's unbelievable.
This is the end of the world.
I mean, I've just recently started listening to you, and I knew people were stupid, but after I heard that show on Friday...
Yeah, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? And you know something? The dumber they are, the more stubborn they are, the more adamant they are that they're right and the whole rest of the world is out of step.
Well, I've heard a lot of times ignorance is bliss, and these people live in a charmed life. Have a good one, Neil.
Good luck to you, pal. Bus is leaving every hour on the half hour. I wouldn't blame you. Just pack a light suitcase, get on that thing, and say, take me anywhere. Just get me out of here. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. We're looking for that grade A material today. Maple Leafs win the big game against Pittsburgh. They crushed them. Dmitry Yushkevich he rendered Jaromir Jagr impotent. He crushed him like stepping on a bug in that game at the Air Canada Center on Saturday night. Leafs win 4-1, got a stranglehold on its series. Backstreet Boys, by the way, on Saturday Night Live, unfortunately have the bad luck of channel surfing just at the right moment. I tune in just to catch the last two-thirds of their performance on that show Saturday night. I want to tell you,
no,
it was horrible. It was, And Big Papa, see, George is way behind the times. If he'd get out of the house once in a while and stop worrying about goddamn, what's her name there, Britney Spears. By the way, she is so big no matter where you go. Walking on Yonge Street in Toronto, have all the record stores with the music blasting all weekend long. What do they got? Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears. That's all you hear everywhere now. She is big. I would say like about, that big. Huh? And almost as feminine as Nick. But not quite. But they were terrible on that. And why is that? I've seen them do a cappella. They were on TV in Amsterdam. I told you this. Or in that Spain thing I saw when I was in Amsterdam. They sang a cappella. They were great. They could actually sing.
They were lip-syncing.
No, they were not lip-syncing, okay, Mr. Relentless Prick? They were not lip-syncing. But Saturday Night Live, that's just a show they can't do, It's like me with this thing. I'm great, but on this show, not so great. No, this just isn't a show. Like Mondays. Mondays isn't a show that I can do. Tuesday through Friday, I'm great. Mondays, is it me? Maybe it's the audience, you think?
Uh-huh.
Could be the audience sucks. Monday through Friday. They were terrible. I'm embarrassed for them. But anyway, Big Papa, whatever you call him, Louis Pearlman, he's not their agent anymore. They got a gigantic lawsuit against them. They made him, I don't know how many tens of millions of dollars, and they got, collectively, the whole five guys got $300,000. Why is it that always entertainers, boxers, kids, people that don't have any representation, they get screwed over something fierce? Poor Joe Louis, Poor Joe Louis, died penniless, died broken-hearted. He is dead, isn't he? Here's Kendall. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy Monday.
And back to you. Monday sucks in this town, man.
Monday does suck.
blows.
We're having a hard time getting started here at work.
Jesus Christ, this place blows.
We were wondering if you could cheer us up a little bit.
Now, is this a request?
Shameless
so in other words, you have no
Monday.
material. Are you trying to say you have no material, sir? Is that what you're trying to say?
We're trying to get started. We're
yeah,
wondering if you could
trying to
help
get
us out.
started with what?
With my anus.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you how to get started with Uranus.
Rectum.
Yeah. I probably don't have to tell him. He probably already knows how to get started with his anus. 5, 6, see how one-dimensional they are? Like the guy that called before about the article and, yeah, you're still fat. Sir, you're so boring. You're such a piece of crap. And I don't care what you say about me, but at least be funny, be original, be different, the same. Boy, they must have it written down by 3x5 cards like the assholes over there on the coast. You're pathetic. This is such that show Friday, like I said, if there was anybody had a doubt about this town, about how much rampant stupidity we have in this place, all they had to do was hear any segment of that show on Friday. Oh, yeah, but you left off the zero. You know what that was like? You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Fatso when Anne Bancroft says,
"You ate the yoni."
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Same thing. WQAM.
Fort Lauderdale.
Ranks were on that crime list. Sir?
Hello.
Fort Lauderdale, number 5 in property crime.
Yes.
No, number 60 in violent crime. Let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
There's no Jews in Florida?
Meaning what? Uh-huh. Another guy with no material. Was that good or what? There's no Jews in Florida. Other than Woody Graber, Neil Rogers, Jeff DeForest, Hank Goldberg, Ed Kaplan.
Jeff Cohen.
Jeff Cohen. Al Goldstein.
Bob Green.
Bob Green. Cheryl Rifkin. My mother. Your mama. That's it. I think he's right. And then that old fart up in Delray Beach. You're right. That's the problem. That's why there's so much stupidity here. Too many goyim. 21 before 11 at 560 WQAM. Lorenzo's Italian Center is like visiting Italy right here in North Miami Beach. Lorenzo's super sale with huge savings is going on right now, or as it says here, with Hugh savings. Maybe he's related to Hugh, what's his name, that boring British actor?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Oh, he is, grotesque. Anyway, listen to these savings at Lorenzo's right now. USDA prime loin veal chops, regularly $12.99 a pound, now only $9.99 a pound. Save $3 a pound.
So get away from the ball, motherfucker.
My anus, 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 my anus. Hi, kids. Y'all like cutting little stinkers? That funny little sound that comes right out your sphincter? Want to copy me and do exactly like I do? Get paid for writing little songs about boo-boo? My brain's all gone. I'm trying to get my groove on, but I can't figure out which Spice Girl I'm going to fart on. And Dr. Dre asked, Yo, man, did you pass gas? Hell no. Why do I smell ass? Man, you low class. Well, since age 12, it seemed like I always smelled like butt-ripping gases and tooting was pretty swell. I got pissed off when I took my jeans off and farted so hard it turned my underwear backwards like crisscross. And every night I'm like, oh, dinner last. Then fart out my ass faster than a fat bitch who ate too fast. Smell this, honey. Yo, dude, wait a minute. That's my girl, cuz. I don't give a fuck. God sent me to stink the world up. My anus. My anus. My anus. My anus. My anus. My anus. My English teacher wanted me kicked out back in junior high. Said the problem was something crawled up my ass and died. I shot him in the face with my vapor. The worst happened later when I covered his desk with used toilet paper. Walked in the strip club, my intestines were filled up. Moved the bartender, took a dump in a tip cup. Went over to a dancer, had her fucking her garter. She lifted her leg up, and I knew she was a fucker. 99% of my life I was lied to. I just found out my mom's got more gas than I do. Oh, I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about strange noises made on the crapper. You know you was dirt when the women rushed to leave. You tried to hold it back, but your butt needed relief. This guy at White Castle said it was pretty cool, but I had to go drop the kids off at the pool. My anus, 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 my anus.
Well, now here we go. Here's something really profound. A millennium is simply a period of 1,000 years. The first millennium began nearly 2,000 years ago with the year 1 A.D. Because there wasn't a year 0 A.D., each succeeding millennium and decade and century, for that matter, must begin with the year ending in the numeral 1. Technically, the third millennium doesn't begin until the year 2001. Isn't that profound? Isn't that what I argued about for 4 hours here on Friday?
No!
Yes, it was. Isn't that exactly what I said?
No.
Yes, it was. Let's argue about it some more. Let's argue about it for weeks and months, okay? Let's get everybody all whipped up to a frenzy about it. Because in this godforsaken town, especially now that those big Schwarzer lost a basketball game yesterday, there ain't nothing else to talk about. I mean, that's some kind of a commentary when this freak show that goes on out there takes up 80% of both my newspapers this morning. I wouldn't even read decent garbage with the stuff that came out on my front stoop this morning on those two newspapers. I wouldn't read quality garbage in that crap. That's how bad it is. Here's a fax from a guy named Bugsy. And yes, you do bug us a lot on the fax machine, but you're okay. It says, I get tired of people driving a car length or less at 70 miles an hour behind me when traffic is solid ahead and I'm following the car in front of me at the correct distance. So I put a sign in the back window of my van that says, assorted loose parts about to fall off. Don't follow too close. And guess what? It worked. Oh! No more tailgaters. And Bugsy asks, how can there be so many stupid effing people? Is what he asks. How do you like that? He just put a sign in the back. Don't follow too close, assholes. And they all said, okay. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
This was an important weekend for my 12-year-old son.
Yes?
He watched Godfather for the first time.
Great.
He loved it.
Uh-huh.
He can't wait to watch number 2 now.
Can't wait to do number 2?
That also.
Uh-huh.
Because the first 5 minutes, he wanted me to turn it off. I said, no, wait.
Why is that?
And, the wedding is slow and it starts
Yeah, the wedding
along.
is, kind of boring.
But luckily, he'd seen that stupid Jane Austen's Mafia film, so he knew what a lot of the themes were to anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was the greatest thing I ever saw.
It is.
Or he ever saw. Yeah, he can't wait for 2 and 3.
I mean, it's no Star Wars, but wait till Godfather the prequel comes out.
That's true.
When Marlon Brando was 6 years old.
Just wanted to let
and
you know.
Still had a mustache.
Godfather fans aren't born. They have to be recruited.
You're exactly.
And so I just recruited a new one.
Sounds like part of your agenda. Keep it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh!
Speaking of crime, by the way, Fort Lauderdale named number 10 worst in crime. But that, these articles are all over the place. Depends on which list you like the best. All crime, though, including those white-collar crimes that are escalating like crazy. Thank God we don't have any rip-off artists down here, by the way. All crime, it's interesting, of the top 10, the bottom 10, the worst 10 cities in America for all crimes, St. Louis is the worst. Atlanta is number 2. Although St. Louis is in a class by themselves. This is total crimes per 1,000 residents. St. Louis, 149.5. How do you get a half a crime? That's only from
They didn't finish.
They didn't finish the job. Orlando is number 3. Topeka, Kansas, 4th, followed by Tampa. Miami, we're number 6, goddammit. Oh! Kansas City, Missouri. Flint, Michigan. Detroit, and Fort Lauderdale, number 10. This is all crime. Now, you'll notice of the 10 worst cities in America for all crimes, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 10 are in Florida, baby. Oh! We're doing it. 4 are in Florida. 2 are in Michigan, Flint and Detroit. St. Louis and Kansas City, 2 in Missouri, and then there's Atlanta and Topeka. But one thing of those top 10 cities, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the thing that really counts, that we really care about, violent crime. I mean, you want to go out there and rip off your boss, who cares? You want to rip off the lottery, counterfeit, that's crime, but we're not all concerned about it, as long as you leave us the hell alone. Violent crime, that's another story. Atlanta, again, is number 1. Now, what is it about Atlanta?
We're number 1, damn it!
Huh? Violent crimes, Atlanta is number 1. Now, there are a lot of Schwarzers in Atlanta, but supposedly they're like affluent Schwarzers. You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? Number 2, Springfield, Mass. I don't think I've ever been in Springfield, Massachusetts. I know where it is. There used to be many years ago WBZA in Springfield, Mass., which was a subcarrier, and the FCC finally said, what a fraud that is, shut that thing off. And they said, okay. That's the only thing I know about Springfield, Mass. It's in the western part of the state, and who knows. St. Louis is number 3, followed by Tampa and Miami, 4 and 5. Tampa's number 4. Now, see, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure I believe these statistics. But to me, even though there's a bunch of nose-picking rednecks over there, Tampa never seemed as dangerous to me, is Miami. But then again, I guess it depends on what part of town you're hanging out in, right? I mean, when you're over there on Dale Mabry, by all the strip joints, you know, that's not dangerous in there, is it?
No.
No. Detroit's number 6, followed by Flint, Michigan, Baltimore, Orlando, and Newark, New Jersey. Now, what about a place where there's like almost all white people? Like Plantation. Did Plantation make the list?
No.
Because it's got all the Florida cities on here, like St. Pete was 11, Tallahassee 37, Jacksonville 50, Fort Lauderdale 60, this is violent crime, Clearwater 65, Hialeah 77, Hollywood 104, Coral Springs 188, Pembroke Pines 193. That probably includes stealing of false teeth. But did Plantation make the list?
No.
No. Sunrise?
No.
Old Jews don't commit violent crimes. Here's Delray Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Maybe it's Walter George. Hello.
Neil Rogers.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I just started listening to your show. I was talking to a friend last night. He was telling me all about your show.
Right.
And he told me, he gave me the impression that you didn't like French Canadians.
I don't like French Canadians? That's an understatement.
That's an understatement.
I despise French Canadians. Frogs, Pepsis.
But you go to their country to go watch a hockey game.
Sir, let me say this to you. Are there French Canadians in Ontario? Have you ever been in Canada?
Yeah. Born and raised in Ontario.
In Ontario. So are the frogs in Ontario?
No, Quebec.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? What does Toronto have to do with frogs?
Well, you're going to their country.
Sir, let me say it again. Canada is not their country. Quebec is separate. They want to be separate. Let them be separate. I say pack them a goddamn stale croissant and send them back to France with the rest of the frogs. Right?
I hear you.
Parlez-vous, get lost to them is what you should be saying, pal. You should kiss the ground that they want out. When in doubt, kick them out. Send them over to goddamn Yugoslavia, okay? That'll teach Milosevic a lesson or two. Swap some of those Albanians for those frogs. Bunch of cheap-ass, disgusting pigs. In fact, who was I talking to? Oh, yeah, where was it? Oh, I know what it was. Wait till you hear this. This is a good deal. So I'm going to the airport in Toronto yesterday from the hotel, and they get me a limo. And there's a guy there, a doctor, as it turns out, who's also going to the airport. And so the bellhop says, how about you want to share the car because you're both going to the airport to the same terminal, whatever, and save you some money. Okay, sure, why not? So I'm talking to this doctor who's kind of an interesting guy, and he's telling me about all these different, now I forgot the whole goddamn point. What was this guy just talking about, the frogs? No, seriously. Oh, about France. You know, this guy's been in London. He teaches seminars. He does seminars all over the world, this guy. And he's telling me about how he was in Paris and hated it like poison. And boy, I mean, I just took off. Once he started that, I just, you know. So we get to the airport, and he was at the different terminal. He was at Terminal 3, I was at Terminal 2. So the cab driver stops to drop me off first because my flight's leaving first. And the doctor says, don't worry about it. I'm on an expense account. I'll pick up the whole thing. How do you like that? Of course, he lives in Boston. He don't live here. He was a nice guy. If he lived here, would he have said that?
No.
No chance. If he lived here and if he would have known who I was, he'd have said, oh, you're a big shot. You make a lot of money. You pick up the whole damn thing. That's what he would have said. Would have been a cheap prick. But anyway, so the thing about Paris, that really cemented our relationship and got me a free limo ride to the airport. Nice going, Doc. Thank you.
Oh!
Good guy. Hates the French. Pigs. Disgusting. Obnoxious. Subhuman. And then this guy who pretends to be Canadian that just called up. You go to their country. Yeah.
I thought they lost that.
Parlez-vous up your
rectum.
Okay, pal? This guy probably hangs out with Denise Potvin too much. That dumb frog. 10:56 at 560 WQMO.
Radio 560 WQAM.
In theaters now.
It's the totally new Star Wars. Yoda loses his virginity.
Oh, R2-D2, you are one hot mama. Oh, what's happening to me? Oh, my. Oh, what's this? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yes.
Yoda gets jiggy with R2-D2.
Oh, R2-D2, give it to me, baby.
Showing now in a theater near you.
By the way, I got some very bad news for you Star Wars fans. You're going to be really depressed about this as soon as I find it. One moment, please. It's either in the Sun Sentinel or is in the, here it is. You're going to be psychotic when you hear this. Singer Ricky Martin outdraws Star Wars.
Boy!
Riding the frenzy over his hit song Livin' La Vida Loca, Ricky Martin is loving his crazy life. The enthusiastic crowd gathered to see the Puerto Rican singing star at a Manhattan record store last week outnumbered the throng across the street lined up for an advanced screening of the new Star Wars movie.
Boy!
Which means that on both sides of the street there were a lot of people with really bad taste. His self-titled debut album, how about the Ricky Martin prequel? When's that coming out? The prequel. Oh, God. I mean, you talk about peddling crap to Chinese. I mean, you can peddle the American public anything. The sequel and the prequel and the whatever. The prequel. A lot of very sad people out there with just unbelievably vacuous minds. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Ricky Martin is.
I thought he did. Oh, he said effing suck. Was there like a apostrophe in there? 5670560 or an ampersand. Don't you like that? Ampersand? I never really knew what the hell that thing was called. And then suddenly somebody told me, like when I was about 100 years old, that's an ampersand. And I said, huh? Now I know why nobody ever says what that thing is called. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Yes, sir. Did you get a chance to see 60 Minutes last night?
No.
They had an author who wrote a book on the decline of the religious right and effect on politics.
Yeah.
And also, too, the one person bemoaned the fact that there's a tremendous drop in membership in churches.
Oh!
So therefore, there is still hope.
Good.
That 35% or 60-some percent that are ignorant may start getting educated.
Great. Thanks for the good news.
Thank you.
Maybe if we can get up to like Italy does, and 97% of the people in this country don't bother going to church or shul anymore like they don't in Italy, then we can finally start getting our ass together, getting a brain in this country instead of all that. You know, I was thinking about that on a plane trip coming back last night, along with many other interesting things. I had all these things racing through my mind last night on that 2-hour and 42-minute journey back. And how come, you know, I mean, it's you don't even have to read past the first couple of paragraphs in the Old Testament to know that it's a bunch of man-written crap. Every day you get Newsweek or you get Time, and of course I realize that those are commie pinko rags with all their propaganda. And you read about the new fossils they're discovering and about all the missing links in the evolutionary chain that they're piecing together now. Lucy in the sky with or without the diamonds. And you ask yourself, now you go back to that thing in Genesis, you know, God creates the universe and the earth and all of this and the stars and the cockamoon and right away, and starts with the sexism right away, okay? He invents a man, not a woman. Now, wouldn't God have known ahead of time if God was perfect and God was so goddamn smart? Not dumb like Fredo, but if he was so smart, wouldn't he have known that he would have had to have a woman? Huh? Wouldn't
he did it for all the other animals.
Don't start making trouble. I'm going to need some soup, by the way. I'm never going to make this. What the hell did I come in here? I'm getting a sore, raw throat. You want to know why? Because I was like right on the border when I came in. But then when you talk on that thing for 4 hours, then it aggravates it, and then you can take a couple of days off in the middle of the week. All right. We need soup. Where are we going to get some soup? Some nice, warm...
Tony's?
Tony's would be good. We love our buddy, what's Brad, down at Tony's. See, I remember the name today. But what kind of bull crap is that? What about the dinosaurs? What about all these other, the birds, all these forms of, there was a thing about the dinosaurs and about how the reptiles developed the ability to fly and all this other stuff. Is there anything in there about?
No.
Of course there's not, because they had no idea. What the hell did they know? It was written by men for men. Oh yeah, Adam was lonely, so he needed a companion. So God reached in and grabbed one of Adam's ribs and made Eve. I mean, the whole concept about that is so sexist that even a 2-year-old child, even Joe Costello understands that, who's busy shaving his nuts right now in the other room. Now, let me ask you this. Who's going to get the assignment of shaving the intern's nuts? Well, isn't that part of the deal when they come to... Huh?
Interns? I'm
assuming that you would know which interns, because the interns that you're interested in, I would assume, again, don't have any nuts.
I would guess that also.
Guess. I saw the way you were leering when you had Shannon. See, he sends Shannon in here, our intern, our very, very attractive young lady. Sends her. He keeps sending her on assignments to find things at the bottom of the cabinet over there. Anything to make sure that she has to bend down so he gets a real good bird's eye view from his catbird seat in the other room. Like he's fooling me, okay? I know a lech when I see one, like every morning when I shave. 567-056. Don't get me started now. This is for off the air. We don't want to start scaring people away, okay? We don't want to start scaring any of our interns away. We've finally got somebody in this building that looks pretty good. Don't be scaring them away. Yet. Here's Liberty City. Hello.
Yes, hello, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Yes, how you doing, sir?
Great.
I want to I heard you made a comment about black basketball is for black people. I'm not disagreeing on you with that, but what's wrong with white people if they're showing interest in it?
Well, let me ask you this: are you a hockey fan?
Yes, I am.
Oh, jeez. Well, you better stop. Don't get carried away with that. It's not for you. It's for white people.
But what's wrong with a white person liking a black person's sport?
Because you don't want white guys muscling in. It's your thing. Don't you want to have your thing? It's not for white people anymore. It used to be years ago when we had all those midgets playing like Bobby Wanzer and Bob Cousy. That's a different lifetime.
I just thought that was, an ignorant.
No, it is not an ignorant statement. It's an honest statement. It's not ignorant. It's an honest statement. If the white people start eating all the watermelon, how much are you going to have left? You see my point?
Whatever, man.
Okay. I don't think he gets it. Does he get it?
No.
No, he don't get it. Why do people take offense to that? I get no black callers on this show, maybe one or two a week, and then all I got to do is tell you the truth about the NBA, and they start getting bent out of shape. It's your thing. Squeeze it. Grab it. Enjoy it. Oh, man. We just can't handle the truth. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Sports Fact Radio, WQAL.
I don't have to grow up. I'm a Guns N' Roses kid, so I can always kill myself for something bad I did. It's gonna be cool when I kill everyone at school, 'cause my dad said it's okay. I'll exercise my right, like by the NRA, that lets me be a Guns N' Roses kid.
He's a Guns N' Roses kid. I taught him how to shoot. What? He really loves the sight of blood. No, ain't that kind of cute. I'm a homicidal Nazi redneck with a site on the internet. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. That's why I raised a Guns N' Roses kid. Here, son.
Oh boy, a clip for my gun.
I'm glad that you're a Guns N' Roses kid.
7:14 at 560 WQM, the Hank Goldberg Show from Shula's at 2 o'clock. Donnie B talking baseball at 6 to build up the tremendous enthusiasm to whip this town into a frenzy for the Marlin Cub game, pregame 6:30 tonight. No. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Listen, I just wanted to touch base with you. I've been a long-time listener and a first-time caller. But regarding the Schwartzes, like you're talking about in Atlanta, yeah, they might be affluent there, but in Plantation, I've been living here for 28 years, and there's a lot of changes going on. A lot of changes.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I'm out walking my Rottweiler. All of a sudden, I look over. I see 15 Schwarzer kids beating the living crap out of a white kid on right there, stomping on his face, stomping on him.
Yeah.
And I had to get them away. And you know what? It's not nice.
You had to get them away? Let me ask you, what kind of mushrooms are you growing in the backyard that you're doing, making up stories like this?
Honest to God, right down the street from Plantation High School.
Yeah.
Right down
and
the street.
you got 15 kids away. How did you do that? Mace?
I have my Rottweiler, thank God. And they were scared, and they took off. All I said was, get out of here. Leave this kid alone. And they took off running when they saw the dog. The bottom line here, Neil, you got to open your eyes. There's a lot of changes right here in Plantation. I mean, I've been here for 28 years, since 1971.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to move out.
Well, what would you like to do? Would you like to build a wall at the edge of Lauderhill there?
Well, we can't. can't do that. I understand what
Uh-huh.
you're saying. It used to be 441. Forget it. Now it's university. I
Yeah.
mean, everything keeps going west. Soon it'll be out in the acres by
Well,
you.
listen, I'll tell you, Canandaigua, New York. Check it out. A lot of white people there. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I mean, just stop and think about that, will you? Stop and think about that. This guy, although he's being honest, he's expressing the way he feels, as distasteful, as unpalatable as it is to many of you, although I'm sure that many also agree. It's not that what he's saying is we don't dislike dark people. Just stay where you belong. That's really, isn't that what he's saying? Just stay on the other side. Lauderhill is great, he's saying, over there. Over on the other side of 441. Over where all those fried chicken joints are. That's a better place for your kind. That's what this guy is saying. I think you're getting just a little bit carried away, sir. You're just a little tiny bit out of control, just like those 600 kids that you dispersed that were beating up that one poor little white kid. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello? Lady in Miami.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I was going to tell you where I think the zero
Oh,
years...
this is, no, sorry, the crazy lady. Don't put her on again, okay? Please. Don't ever put her on again. Lady, you are crazier than a frickin' bed bug. I'd rather hear that last guy with a story about the 48,000 black kids beating up the one little white kid, and I'd rather croak before hearing him again, okay? Don't call me anymore, lady. Just the sound of your voice makes me nauseous. God, is she crazier than... I want to apologize to all the bed bugs out there, okay? Because I said crazier than a bed bug. She makes them look brilliant. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What I wouldn't give for some real callers in this town, what I wouldn't give for some real people who had something to say. 655 years I've been doing this here. Have I had 10 calls that were worth...
No.
Am I right? And all these people, every year when we do our Center One stuff, the best of Neil, and they're saying, oh, why don't you put a lot more stuff from the show on there, a lot more callers? And we always go, yeah, right. Uh-huh. When are those great calls going to start coming in? We're holding our breaths collectively. We're holding it. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Good morning, my lord.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll try and be a good caller. Anyways, what is this, the racist station for the 90s?
Evidently.
I'll tell you. Well, I'm another Jew in Florida,
Yeah.
and my wife is Catholic, and we're raising the children Catholic.
Why is that?
Well, I'm not religious because I'm...
You're not religious, so in other words, instead of just raising them up neutral and letting them pick their own poison, you're just letting your wife, oh, man, that's
poison their
sad.
brains. Well, we took them to church on Saturday for Holy Communion.
Yeah.
I never knew what it was about. And all I could think about is you and the sheep going up to the altar watching the kids. And I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this to my
And
kids?
what is the answer?
I'm going to have to sit down and have a talk with my wife about it.
Why?
Cute.
Well, no, it's not cute. It's,
Well, no, it's not.
pathetic.
It is.
It's tragic. What kind of a parent are you that's letting your kid be brainwashed with this crap, with these wafers and with all this, these tchotchkes, all this silly nonsense?
You're right. With the wafers and everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I was watching them, and I'm thinking to myself, all I could see is the sheep going up to the father, getting the wafer. I'm thinking to myself, what kind of Bubba Mices is this?
See, it's a conditioning process. The father wants to condition those kids to putting something in their mouth.
I would
That's
imagine.
right.
Well, I will definitely have a talk with my wife about
Yeah, okay. Well, call us back when you do.
I shall.
Okay, mark it on the calendar, George. 2525. He shall. What a pussy, man. There's so many pussies out there in this town. God, I thought they all worked on this station. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello. Hollywood.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, maybe I can shed some light on this. Atlanta. I heard you talk about Atlanta a little bit. I'm the production manager for the television show Cops. And last year we were shooting in Atlanta prior to the summer.
And evidently so was everybody else. Yeah.
But usually when we go to a city, our crews arrive with an officer, and usually, like for an evening shift, they might get about 18 to 20 calls a night.
Yeah.
Well, in Atlanta, we were running 35 to 40 calls a night, which is unheard of. And it was just, one of those cities where we go to. We've never been to a city where you have such a diverse group, mixed with the black and the white. But actually, everybody seems to get along very well in Atlanta, and a lot of, like you said, the blacks are very affluent in the area also. For instance, when we left.
So what's the reason for all the crime?
Well, it's hard to explain. I mean, you have a lot of stuff happening in the city and a lot of things happening in the outskirts. It's just a lot of you get a lot of petty stuff, but it's a very violent crime area also. You get a lot of you have murders, you have a lot of attacks, rapes, all that kind of stuff goes on there. But when we were going in there researching Atlanta, we didn't think that it was going to be like that. We had heard that you have a lot of violent crimes, and we got there, we were just blown away by it. We couldn't believe it. But morale, you have good morale at their department and everything. For instance, when we left Atlanta, we went to Virginia Beach, and guys were going on 15 calls a night. And Virginia Beach was supposed to be ranked number 6 in the country. So I don't know if I can really shed any light on why it's like that, but it just happens there. It's just really hard to explain.
Well, thanks for the good news.
Okay.
I'm staying out.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, I'll see you at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Buckhead. How do you like that? That's a nice, safe area as long as you don't leave the hotel. Yeah, that's a very ritzy, affluent part of town in Atlanta. I've been up there, but boy, you don't want to walk the streets even there. You you can feel it in the air. It's like Los Angeles. Man, you talk about a scary city. I would say of all the places I've ever been in my life, and I'm talking anywhere. I'm not talking about bad neighborhoods. I'm just talking anywhere in L.A. You just have that sense, you feel it, you can smell it. That sense of fear, you know what I'm talking about? Like it just isn't all that great walking around on the streets, even in the middle of broad daylight. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was calling about the gentleman earlier who talked about the 60 Minutes show last night.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to kind of clarify. He made it sound like it was just some average person on the street had authored this book. Actually, it was by two people who were sort of Pat Robertson's right-hand men. In fact, they credited, I wish I could remember their names, but they credited one of them as being the one who came up with the name, the Christian Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically saying that, well, considering everything that Clinton's gotten away with, that they've written this book now that says that, just give up trying to be in politics and you're politicizing Jesus and it's not working. And even they had an interview with Robinson saying that well, we know we're never going to get abortion made illegal again. It's always going to be legal and this, that, and the other. And the thing was, the whole time I was watching it, I kept thinking to myself, yeah, you'd like us to believe this, and then we'll all feel safe voting for Republicans on some level, and then here comes the brown shirts again.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought to myself, boy, what if this is the most what if this is the biggest disinformation project ever put out there? And this is just sort of, okay, we're going to draw back now. We're not going to be in politics anymore. So, okay, now you can trust the Republicans again not to throw you down the river. And
Guns, God, and hate. That's the motto. Don't ever forget it. Guns, God, and hate. That's your Republican Party of the 90s.
Absolutely. Don't trust them until it's a whole new set of faces.
God bless you, sweetheart.
You have a good day.
Okay. Making a Killing, The Business of Guns in America Today by Tom Diaz. You ought to go out and get the book right now, okay, immediately if not sooner. Speaking of the far right and the National Rifle Association, all these people that love their guns, baby. That's right. Don't be messing with them. Because it's the American effing way. It's part of their whole mindset. It's part of their whole phallic thing, this gun thing. They want it. They want to look at it. They want to stroke it. They want to rub it in the gun, too. 11:25 at 560 WQM. I'll take
Kill Nicole.
Bloody glove, man, what were you thinking of? OJ, you almost got away. Oh man! Instead of driving around the freeways, you should have been on Brazilian Airways. All your friends call you the Jew. They say, I hope jail guards take care of you. to sleep with your back to a corner, or you'll be walking like Tina Turner.
Well, man, you could play, baby. That's a lot of the song that just, my kishkis just start spilling out. Man, you could play. Like, that really counts for something, does it?
No.
No, not really. That's the problem with America, man. You could play. You could heave the ball. You could run. Yeah. Anybody give a crap with a brain?
No.
No, anybody's got a brain doesn't care about that. The fact that you're a goddamn cold-blooded, ruthless murderer that slaughtered 2 young people, that's what we ought to be caring about. And the fact that there are people that still admire and glorify you, and the media still try to pump you back up again and rehab you, this is the sad part. You know, all this crap about morality in America, that's like Middle East peace. You know, they think because they're having an election again today over there that that's going to change something. Is it going to change anything? No. Of course not. They can have an election every other suckus over there and it isn't going to change a goddamn thing. Morality in America. Any country that admires, that elevates to the level that this piece of human scum. And we got the media here promoting, oh, here's, why the hell should he have 2 seconds of publicity in the media anymore? I mean, I think Ted Bundy may have been misunderstood when you come right down to it, huh? And maybe John Hinckley. And Jack Ruby. And David Berkowitz. And John Wayne Gacy. Come on, let's hear them all. All the goddamn mass murderers. Let's start with all the scumbags, all the slime. Charlie Manson, huh? I think he might have been a little bit misunderstood. And poor Patty Hearst. And the goddamn SLA and the FNA. Yeah. You know, everybody's a folk hero and they're getting marriage proposals in prison. And, I mean, come on. Morality in America. Are you people out of your minds? And they're running around on the freeways, on the goddamn side of the freeways there in L.A. Go, OJ! Go, OJ! Yeah, but he just, he just ran. He just, he's got his passport and $10,000 in cash. He's running. It's like too bad he didn't hold up a big goddamn sign, saying,
I killed Nicole.
Yeah. Like anybody with a brain doesn't know that? Go, OJ! Oh, he can run fast. We'll see you at the Hertz counter, OJ. Isn't that what he said before he stabbed him? It only hurts for a little while. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
What it is?
I know you were saying you don't get any black callers, so I'm trying to change that now.
Okay.
But that stuff where you're saying how basketball, that's our sport, it's true, and I'm not gonna sit here and deny it because you're speaking the truth, just like hockey is y'all sport,
That's right.
We got our sports, we got basketball, we got football.
Y'all got your thing and we got our thing.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna sit here and criticize you. I mean, I listen to you just about every day. I think you're funny.
Yes, I am.
I'm not gonna take.
I'm a panic.
I'm not gonna take everything you say to heart. Just like all that stuff.
Don't take it the hard way, man.
Yeah.
Unless you want to, but use protection.
Nah. And just all that stuff you're saying about OJ, it's true.
Can you believe we got a whole bunch of assholes in this building that worship him, that got pictures of him up on the walls? We got morons in this building. They make me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I mean,
scumbags.
I got no respect for OJ anyways, even before the whole thing.
I bet you'd like to pull the switch on that piece of crap.
Yo, it's all good. But, I'm going to try to get more black callers to call your show, all right?
All right.
All right, man.
God bless you.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. This is the fly jock, by the way. What? The fly host. Well, a different kind of fly. What's his name? 567-0560. I'm gonna have to take a few days off. I'm under a lot of duress. Well, the cold and all of that. That must be it.
Got a head cold, do you?
Yeah, a head cold. There's one good way to solve a head cold. Just give it a good blow. That'll do it every time. 567-0560. Clear out all that congestion, and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, now I feel better. We got some soup coming from our buddy Tony's, Brad, whatever. How come a guy named Brad runs a place called Tony's? Can you explain that to me? Huh? Every time you find a business, it's like Eddie's used cars. Hey, where's Eddie? Oh, there's no Eddie here. Here's the owner, Tom. What is that? Why is it Eddie's used cars? I don't know. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Oh, line 7's got the disease now. First it was line 8. Now it's spilling over to line 7. As Bell South continues showing their big fat to the entire world. You guys suck, okay? If we worked for a real radio station, and again, I'm not going to start getting psychotic because I gave that up last Wednesday, just in time to get Defo all pissed off. Yeah, I noticed he was sucking around there in the hallway this morning. See, to my face, he's, sucky, sucky, sucky. But on the air behind my back, oh, that Neil Rogers, he's a hypocrite. He took my facts, meh, meh, like a crybaby, like a little child. If I was ballooning up like he is at the rate of 10, 15 pounds every week, I'd be pretty upset too, Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Ballooning ain't the word for Devo.
Jesus Christ, is he a monster in the business?
Hey, you know why there's no violent crimes in Plantation? It's those tall walls around the neighborhoods. By the time you get over those walls, you don't feel like being violent no more.
That's the idea.
There you go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day.
Okay. Whatever he said. 567-0560. That's 400 open lines here waiting on you today. We want to hear from some black people. We'd like to hear from some white people. How about some goddamn Asian people, huh? How about some Chinese people who aren't pissed off about that accident they had over there because they had a bad map? I mean, I've heard some stories in my life. That's the best one. Well, we bought this map at the Shell station before we started our bombing campaign. We got 20 countries involved here from NATO, okay? But they couldn't find a map that's like up to date. They got like an old thesaurus, See, this is what happens. All you kids should learn out there. You get real thesaurus when you use an old thesaurus. And that's what happened. They thought they were bombing something else. It turned out to be the Chinese embassy. And they said, uh-oh. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Interesting story about the Gestapo that run around in Metro-Dade County calling themselves police officers.
Yes?
I run a business out of a van, and I was visiting a customer this morning, and I pulled into a parking lot where a police officer already had somebody writing some business. And he sat there and waited for me to take my customer to my van to show him my wares. And he says, I need your driver's license and your insurance and all the information.
And
I'm running a commercial business out of a van without any markings. I need to have my name, my address, and phone number in 3-inch block letters across my van so every criminal can see what I got in my van so they can come rob me.
Right.
And then the cop tells me, well, they already know what you got because if they're interested in you, they're already watching you. It's just amazing that we've got nothing else for these cops to worry about.
Well, you know something? I'm looking on the violent crime list in Miami is number 5. We made the top 5 again.
Oh!
Violent crime we're talking about. And somehow they found time in their busy schedule to nail your ass.
And then he has the nerve to tell me that they sit at the Home Depot parking lot waiting for contractors and people with different types of businesses to load up at Home Depot, and they nail them there.
He actually told you this?
Boy, he told me that.
A lot of chutzpah.
It was a dumb shrug, but anyway, if you could play the ERECTION song for me, that would give me a lot of spookus, I guess.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir. And go learn some Yiddish. We got a Jewish guy here, don't know his Yiddish. Oh, man. Schwarz just means black, okay? Well, you stop. Finster is dark. Schwarz is black. Let's start with the Yiddish 101, which is very much like Choyman, too, by the way. Isn't that interesting? I mentioned that the other day. It's a very fascinating thing that German and Yiddish sound so much alike. And yet, if you're Jewish and you hear people speaking German, the little tiny hairs on the back of your neck stand straight up. This train is now in the hands of the German police.
Oi!
That was a scary moment. I mean, just the way he said it, Okay, you're leaving Netherlands where everybody's, open-minded. We like all you guys here, even you Jews. But now we're in Germany and everybody on the train is going,
Oi!
Like that. 20 before noon at 560. Of course, you can always crawl down that little hole right out on the tracks.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine.
ERECTION. It's erection time. I'm gonna kick off my shoes, strip off my dress. It makes me wet when I see you get a big erection that's too big for my mouth. I want it mercenary and on top of you, and take it up my lubricated poop suit.
All right.
Give me an erection and nail me to the wall. ERECTION. I want to drain your balls. I want to love and wally out you when you shoot your Uzi, and then I'll give it a blow. In the morning it gets as big as this, and
uncircumcised.
All right.
E-R-E-C-T-I-O-N. I want to drink your blood.
I really ought to kiss the ground here, kiss the table, kiss something. I haven't had a cold in, about 2 years now, I would say, a long time. And it's great when you don't have a cold. I mean, even if you have all those other things like the rash, you know, and I had all those things. But having a cold, it's just not a major thing, but it's annoying. The scratchy throat, you know, and there's that, not only the scratchy throat, but how do you describe that, like that bad taste in the base of your throat? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it tastes like
mucus, because it is. And then, of course, and you feel like any minute you're going to have, like, real loose bowels, you know. Oh, just constantly that kind of squishy feeling. And it just, it's just not good, you know. Sick enough to not feel great about it, but not sick enough to be sitting on my ass at home. 5670560. Sound pretty damn good, though, I'll tell you, for an old fart. And pound 560 on the AT&T line. Callers suck as usual. We've got a couple of calls today, haven't we? Couple of good, one or two that had something to say. Well, that young Schwarzer guy, he was all right. That brother, the fly boy. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, I've been waiting a couple of months now, patiently, for you to talk about our favorite American city, because I'm going there next month.
What is that?
What is your favorite American city?
Las Vegas?
There you go.
Yeah.
What
do you mean you've been patiently waiting? We talked about Vegas almost every day last week, I think.
Well, then it must be at a time when I'm not listening. I got 5 nights I'm going to spend out there at a new place, and I wanted your recommendations for a few restaurants for dinner.
A few restaurants for dinner?
Yeah. First class.
Oh, you got to go to Caesar's. What's the name of that great Italian restaurant in Caesar's?
Bacchanal.
Bacchanal. Oh, that's not a meal. That's a feast.
Bacchanal.
It's a
how
pig.
How about the new Venetia? You know anybody that's been in there?
No. Well, the casino part is open, but it's still not. Yeah, we had a call, I think, from somebody who'd been in there, but they opened the casino part first, and then they're finishing the rest of it, so I don't know. But, I mean, when you're there, you'll check all these places out, of course.
Well, I've got
I'm assuming.
Have you been to Mandalay Bay?
No.
No. I heard the Venetia, a couple of floors collapsed there and killed some construction workers.
Really?
Maybe it's not open. Yeah.
When was that?
A couple of weeks ago.
No, because that's not true, because it opened right on time. We had calls from people who had been there.
All right, so we got Bacchanal. What else?
Yeah. Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Okay.
Well, see, George is smiling. I don't care. Okay, let him smile. Okay, so let me tell him the other place, the Rosewood Grill.
All right.
Even though Ruth Chris has better steak. Rosewood Grill. I mean, they got great lobsters and steaks. It's right on the Strip. It's right by the Imperial Palace, right up a little north of that.
Yeah, whatever happened to your summer trip? I went on it one time when that guy who set up the trip, he had that cute little girl who was in junior high. Maybe she's old enough now to start taking care of some business.
Yeah, I'll bet.
All right.
Good. Have a great time, pal. Okay, you'll have a great time. What?
Yeah, she's out of school now.
Yeah, like I said, mind your own business. Leave Bob Lincoln alone. 5670560 pound. Yeah, I feel that squishy. You know what I'm saying? Like any second. Oh, Toulouse Lautrec. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Another very ponderous Monday, like all of them. When you get upset, I'm not the least bit upset. In fact, I'm delighted that I could be here today, because otherwise I'd be sitting at home and I'd be doing Dristan and all that, and that stuff makes you sicker. Makes you worse. You just have to fight your way through it. When you're a real man like me, you fight your way through these things. You don't sit around at home feeling sorry for yourself, sniffling all day like some kind of a little pansy. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's going on,
How
man?
you doing,
Another
sir?
brother checking in today.
All right.
You know, I was thinking, man, the white people was the one that invented basketball.
Yeah.
Now we took it over.
That's
Same
right.
with football, and it wasn't for all those white people.
Hey, the white man invented Detroit, too, and then you guys took it over.
So, thanks to Peter Worrell, Rosie Greer's kid, we'll be taking over hockey next, baby. Yeah!
All right. I'll be out of here just in time, I guess. 5670560, pound 560. In fact, Rob Niedermeyer was on a plane there last night with Nicky Taylor, and as he walked down the thing, I said, hey, Rob, do you think Peter Worrell's a real player? And he said,
no.
Actually, I didn't say a word. Now, how come I did that? I wasn't going to speak to him. He must hate me like poison, you know what? See, there are guys that are like, got a sense of humor, and then there are guys who are thin-skinned. He has a right to be upset with me because I ripped him an ass, and he deserves it. So I'm not going to pretend to put on act. I mean, okay, so I bought the kid lunch a couple of years ago one day there, right? At Chili's, Rimmer and Robbie Niedermeyer. He's a nice kid. He just don't have the heart for it, okay? He just ain't got it. I could have put on some phony kind of, hey, Robbie, Nikki, how you guys doing? Great to see you. That's just not me. I'm just a quiet guy. I sit there minding my own business with my eyes darting in all directions, making sure I don't miss a goddamn thing. And I see plenty, believe me. For example, I can't tell you that. 567-0560, pound 560. Now, see, you're never going to, that always is going to be in the recesses of your mind. Yes, it will. You pretend that it won't. But the fact that I know something that you don't, there's a little bit of curiosity.
I'm sure there's this whole world
of
things that you know that I don't.
No, but
I'm really happy for that.
This one you would want to know, and I can't tell you.
I don't care what difference would it make. It was a guy.
Yeah.
So therefore,
that's not the point of it, okay? But forget about it. Here's a Tamarack. Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
I finally saw the Britney Spears video.
Yes.
On a 1 to 4, I rate that a 4 tissue video.
Okay.
I had to take matters in my own hands halfway through.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk to you about the hockey.
Uh-huh.
About the Bruins. Halfway through the third game, after the first 2 periods, Buffalo started pinching their defensemen in.
Defensemen?
They only had 2. They only had 9 shots the first 2 periods. How come the Bruins since then haven't been getting more shots if they're pinching their defensemen?
What are you talking about? How can they haven't been getting more shots? They just won 5-3 the other day.
That's one game. What about the
about?
other game and a half?
I don't know. I haven't paid any attention to that series. That's small potatoes. That
What do you mean small potatoes?
Just
Wherever
what I
that
said.
series is going to the cup.
Going to the cup. They may wear a cup. They're not going to no cup. The Leafs are on fire, man.
Well, I was hoping
you could smell it in the streets of Toronto Saturday night, sir. For 2 hours, they were driving through the streets, honking their horns, yelling, "Go Leafs, go!" wearing their blue and white and the banners. It was fantastic.
Well, I wish I could have been there. Let me ask you, what was Toronto's record against the Bruins this year?
1-3.
Right. No, 3-0-2.
Against the Bruins?
That's right.
No.
3-0-2. They didn't beat them a game. Check it out.
Who didn't? Who won the 3?
The Bruins won the 3, and there were 2 ties. The last tie was on ESPN2.
But what does that mean? What was the Leafs' record against the Flyers during the regular season?
Everybody beat the Flyers.
No, the Leafs were 1-3 against the Flyers in the regular season. They beat them in 6. Forget about those records during the season. You know, you're making things up now. You're trying to rationalize. You throw that all out the window. It's a new ball game now, man.
Well, I'm rooting Toronto gets to the cup if the Bruins don't. Have a happy Schmitty. That's Eric.
And back to you. 567-0560. What happened to Detroit, by the way? I notice all those Red Wing fans have become very quiet. Coma. Even they brought Chris Osgood back last night. Too late. The horse is already out of the barn, baby. And at Patrick Frog, he slammed the door shut. You can just see the Red Wings gulping and gasping for oxygen now as they're taking the pipe. And good. We don't want to see all these teams winning year after year. We don't want any more dynasties. We don't want any more 4-game sweeps in the finals. Let's have a little bit of excitement, especially now that those big Schwarzers lost that basketball game yesterday that everybody in this town is so bent out of shape about. What kind of a person with an IQ larger than his thumbnail gives a crap about the NBA, huh? What kind of a white guy? And like I said, I don't know. If black people, they should like the NBA. It's their people. Those are their heroes, you know. Zoe and Schvo and whatever those guys are called. Bo. Yeah, how come all those black guys are? Although we do have Bo Camper, huh? Bo Kimback Camper. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir. Let me say it again. Yes.
Hey, just a couple of quick points about Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful city in terms of the
Well,
greenery.
name me 6 great restaurants. I'm just kidding.
The most racially polarized city in the United States, and it's critical because it calls itself the cradle of civil rights.
Yeah.
My last point, F.O.J. Later.
Okay. F.O. O.J. That's what I say. That's what everybody with a brain would say. We despise O.J. We're nauseated by O.J., and we're nauseated even worse by people who admire O.J. And what really makes me sick to my stomach is anybody who would ask for O.J.'s autograph. That kind of a person should be deported and sent back to Venezuela and put up in the mountains there with all those barbarians. That's the goddamn truth. Stuck his head in here this morning like my good best lost buddy, you know. Don't waste your time talking to me. Go get O.J.'s autograph. My autograph ain't worth nothing, okay? Maybe O.J.'s autograph will be worth something one day. Piece of scum, slime, lying, disgusting, murdering son of a bitch. Oh, yeah, can you give me O.J.'s autograph? Well, go ask
Roy.
He's close with him, okay? And believe me, he's paying every day of his life with those oozing bloody stools. See, I think he just made that up that went away. He's too embarrassed. Because the Lord works in mysterious ways. And if you're gonna consort with a murderer like that, then the Lord is gonna be pissed off at
Roy.
And he's gonna have oozing bloody stools for a long time until he mends his evil ways. You know what I'm saying? Until he stops consorting with the evil. When's that goddamn soup getting here already, buddy?
It's here. It's on the second floor.
Oh, just in time. Just in the nick of time. Just when my throat's about ready to give out. I'm almost ready to have you start playing those stupid songs that you got. Like that. Oh, some of that's pretty good stuff.
Oh, the stupid song.
The stupid song. I'm not talking. Oh, I don't know what the hell that was.
I thought I was talking about my music in general.
Yeah, well, I could be. By the way, did I mention the Backstreet Boys were on Saturday Night Live this weekend and they stunk? See, I'm not like you. I tell it exactly the way it is. No,
I don't apologize for.
They were terrible. They were awful. And whoever keeps sticking them on there, I don't know what the deal is. And Brian, you got the best voice of the whole group, Brian. You got range. Every time there's a solo part that requires like a range, they always pick Brian. He's got the best voice. But every time he's on there live, Brian screws it up worse than anybody. Come on, Brian, cut it out before we chop your heart out again. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Good. 4 minutes till noon at QAM. If you're not...
WQAM, my head, Fort Lauderdale. Well, I worked in the rear, and I've got no fear. Won't me go where no man's gone before me. Yeah. Now bite your lip, and remove that slip.
Rectum.
Acquire taste that leaves you empty. The easily disgusted think that it's heinous, but like a spaceman, I'm circling your anus. It tastes like a penny to me. The sweetest painter I've seen. Your moon is shining on me. Tastes like a penny to me. Well, I shaved and depraved. The tongue lasted, not just cave. Makes the hair on my dad stand straight up. Now I'm a real trooper. Got my tongue up in your pooper. Squeeze out enough juice till a Dixie cup. I got a mustache fade of beasties. My friends call me number 2. I heard you yelling caca, but I prefer doo-doo. It tastes like a penny to me. All right. The sweetest painter I've seen. Your moon is shining on me. It tastes like a penny to me. Now put away that KY, 'cause darling, I'm going in dry. Trust me, I won't hurt you. Things get nice and loose when I derail your caboose. Get you, and I wash it all down with a nice cold brew. Doing what I do leaves me feeling like a man. You'll find it hard to sit down when I get done with your can. It tastes like a penny to me. The sweetest painter I've seen. Your moon is shining on me. Tastes like a penny. Tastes like a penny. Tastes like a penny to me.
Here's the latest from the Israeli elections, by the way.
Boy!
12:04 at 560 WQM. So we have a little contretemps again in here because we have, unfortunately, like I said before, people are making a little bit of progress very slowly. But Joe Costello, the gear that you're in is so slow, you'd have to live till about 500 until you ever progressed into the real world. Well, I thought you said you had something for me to nibble on in there, by the way. No, isn't that what you said? Oh, he already went home? Yeah. And? It's yours?
Oh, I mean, I ordered it for me, but I thought you'd probably want something after that, too. I've got a big veal meal, so I don't need it.
You got a big veal meal and an antipasto.
Just in case. I always order something extra for me.
See, I don't want to eat a whole lot because then I'll be on the way home. I don't want to have that experience in my beautiful new car again. Because I've got, I feel a little loosey-goosey. So anyway, I was talking about somebody, which I don't want to mention the name yet. And I said, when Joe came in here during the break, and we were talking about this particular individual, and I said, what was the first one that he agreed to? Oh, yeah, pretty boys. Joe admits that there are guys who are pretty. But the word beautiful, he cannot relate to. That he says guys are not beautiful. And I said, that would be like my sitting here saying that women are not beautiful. And I don't understand how you can say a woman is beautiful. Are there statues that are beautiful? Huh? Are there paintings that are beautiful? Are there buildings? I mean, are there erections that are beautiful?
What Joe doesn't understand is how you can put a man's feet in your mouth.
He doesn't understand how you can even look at anybody's feet, much less forget about a man. Let me say it again. Here's a guy who shaves his nuts, and he's got an anti-foot fetish. He never saw a foot that he liked. Right? Whether it was on his girlfriend, whether it was on it could be Britney Spears could come in here right now, stark naked, and if Joe happened to see her feet first, that would be the end. I mean, he would go running out of the screaming, puking his guts out. That would be the end of lunch, all over the floor.
We discussed that Britney Spears angle, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Would you do her if you had to give her a big foot suction job?
And he said, no. And here's a guy that's giving me advice on beautiful guys. Here's a lady in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I have a message for you from Las Vegas.
Yes.
My husband and I were there last weekend, and we took your advice and we went to the Rosewood Grill.
Right.
And the maitre d' there, his name's Marvin, a gray-haired guy with little slimy eyes.
Yeah.
We told him we were there because our friend Neil on the radio told us about it.
Great.
And you know what he said? He said at least 5 people a month tell him that you send him there.
How do you like that?
And he said, tell him, please, next time he's here,
I will.
introduce himself.
See, I built this up to a thing now. I'm expecting a freebie next time I go.
I think you're going to get it.
Great. Excellent.
I think so. I wanted to let you know because I promised him I'd call and tell you.
All right. Now, before you go, this is perfect that we got a lady on here after that conversation I just had. Would you agree that there are men who are beautiful?
Yes, there are.
Can you name me one?
A beautiful man?
Yes.
My husband's a beautiful
man. No,
man.
I mean, we don't know your husband. Somebody.
And you know what? And by the way, because I was listening to your conversation.
Like Brad Pitt. Would you say that Brad Pitt is beautiful?
He's gorgeous.
There you go.
And my husband loves to suck toes, so I was listening to that conversation, and I totally agree with you.
All right.
All right?
See ya.
Hey, go
Bye-bye.
Pens.
She says her husband, will go Pens. Her husband likes to suck toes is what she said. 567 rhymes with 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Looks like I scammed a good free meal at the Rosewood Grill in Vegas. It's a good place. Big, juicy steaks, gigantic lobsters, and they put especially if you have a family with a bunch of little kids, they put a whole show on. They come in, they take the picture, they do the whole 9 yards. It's not cheap. It's a pricey place. But if you're going to Vegas, don't be looking for cheap. If you want cheap, stick with your buffets, okay? One thing, all you people that want to do all the buffets, you lose a lot less money gambling because when you're standing on line, 1.5, 2 hours for every meal 3 times a day, that's all the less time you'll have to plunge your brains out to lose all that money. For example, Robert Wagner. You know Robert Wagner, To Catch a Thief?
Before his time. Say the old guy, Robert Wagner, and then he'll know.
That old fart, Robert Wagner, who was on To Catch a Thief on that TV cop show and that horrible, who couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. When he was young, Robert Wagner was a beautiful guy. That's not debatable. That's not Neil Rogers saying that. That's, in fact, what was the movie he was in, which they did later with Matt Dillon was in it, the Philadelphia thing about where the guy killed his fiancée or what? Remember that story? You know what I'm talking about. The original one, Robert Wagner starred in that, where he poisoned her and it didn't work, and he got her up in that building, was going to throw her off the edge. It isn't really important what the name of the movie was, but Robert Wagner, when he was a very young man, was in that movie, and anybody who could have seen that and said Robert Wagner wasn't a beautiful guy, is full of crap, is very concerned, very nervous about their own sexuality. Oh, by the way, did I tell you who I ran into? 9 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM.
Media is sick and needs help badly.
Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Oh! Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. Yeah. Mom and Dad were playing tag right there on the bed. Mommy used her boobies as a pillow for Daddy's head. Mommy's head was bobbing, she almost got whiplash. I don't know what she was drinking, but she got a milk mustache. Peeping through the keyhole, ain't sure what I see.
Squirt, squirt.
But I sure do like it more than anything on TV. Mom and Dad were hooked together like my Lincoln logs. Last time I saw something like that, Mom was yelling at the dog. Dad was breathing heavy. Mom was on her knees. He must have had a boo-boo cause she kissed him where he pees. Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. Well, we watched a little longer, and I started to get sick. If Daddy's name is Elmer, why Mom asked for Dick? Daddy groaned and his eyes rolled back. Mommy wanted more. She climbed back on top of him, but all he did was snore. Peeping through the keyhole as the minutes pass. I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class. Well, I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class.
All right. 12:15 at 560 WQAM. We got the Hank Goldberg Show from Shula Steak 2 at 2 o'clock. Donnie B talking baseball at 6. Marlins and the Cubs, 6:30 pregame game at 7 o'clock right here in town. Any interest?
No.
567. So Joe has made a quick turnaround, so to speak, on this issue, now that I embarrassed the hell out of him. Well, plus the fact he probably figures not a good day to be stubborn anyway because of that other thing. But anyway, I got all kinds of things today. Just call me Mr. Blackmailer today. That's right. I got everybody by the short hairs today. Of course, in his case, there's no hairs to be, because he already shaved them off. No, but seriously, he came in during the break and said, I reconsidered, and I thought about it for about 4 or 5 seconds, and you're right, men can be beautiful. I mean, see, you got to loosen up with all these preconceived notions. It doesn't make you a fag just to say that. I mean, if you said, if Joe came in here and said, you're right, Brad Pitt is hot, then I would say, oh, really? Hot. 5670560. And by the way, Leo is not. Have you seen the things for his new movie too, Leo? Looking like he should have been in Wizard of Oz. He could have been the Scarecrow. Here's a lady mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. My name is Ron, and I just wanted to...
Your name is what?
Rana.
Rana.
Yes. I just wanted to say congratulations to one of my friends who just graduated from law school. I know you typically don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah, go right ahead, Rana. Whatever you like. It's Monday. Anything that kills a few seconds, we love it.
Well, I know he's one of your biggest fans, and he's probably listening right now. His name is Steve Oliver.
Yeah.
And he just graduated from St. Thomas University on Saturday.
Right. Nice going, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Steve, your boyfriend or something?
He's a friend of mine.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought, see the way you responded to that, I thought it might have been embarrassing because if you're married and you said, yeah, he's also a boyfriend of mine, that kind of make it embarrassing too. But being a lawyer, that's a good start, That's a good in. Nice going, Steve. Congratulations.
Thanks for giving me your airtime.
And have a great day, Donna.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye. Or what, Rana, whatever her name was. Donna, Rana, Rosanna, Dana. Where's my antipasto, by the way, that you shouldn't be eating? You can't be eating a big veal meal. Speaking of
no
veal...
pasta, by the way.
What?
Just veal, no pasta.
So? What do you want, a medal? Cow killer? So anyway, speaking of veal meal, have you seen, I know he's a shameless desperado. Have you seen the latest thing, the scam that Richard Simmons has come up with now? Where he's got like the little logos of what you're supposed to eat. Here's a picture like of a drumstick and a picture of a baby cow. I'm going to tell you something.
I thought I was telling you about that. You said it was another deal a meal.
It is. But I guess a week ago, maybe last weekend, I saw the infomercial for it for the first time. How could any person, I know us fat people are desperate, but talk about exploiting desperate fat people. Richard Simmons, you are a pile of walking crap, you silly person, you silly goose. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, great to hear you.
Uh-huh.
I'm here from Tampa visiting from the land of Lassiter. And, yes, I guess you know Jake.
Took at least 3 seconds for this guy to get that Lassiter crap out.
Yeah. I guess obviously J-Corp was bought out by Clear Channel.
Right.
That's all. That's been the topic of his shows lately. Nothing but bitch.
Yeah. Well,
bitch.
we don't care. Nobody over here knows who that is.
Well, I guess maybe he might have his old geezers who listened to him back then.
Okay, well, listen, nice hearing from you, and have a great day. See, that's all they can talk about when they call here, the Tampa people, is Lassiter. Do we care about him?
No.
Does anybody over here remember him?
No.
No, want to remember him?
No.
Oh, you people from Tampa, and you wonder why we went off the air over there? Jesus K. Christ. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. See, most of the guys who listen to the show, they would never, ever admit that a guy was beautiful, ever, under any circumstances. So we made some very fast inroads with Joe. Of course, the fact that it was on this particular day, there's probably a reason for it. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Nice to speak with you.
Yes, it is.
I was hoping that maybe you could clear something
Where's
up
my
for me.
fork, Joe?
Clear something up for me, Neil. I am a straight male, but as far as this thing is going
you want me
on
to clear it up for you?
with the conversation this afternoon, that I would assume that gay men look at other men the same exact way that straight men look at women.
No. Well, what do you mean the same way?
Well, when I say the same way,
They don't look at their breasts.
well, obviously not. But
Mhm.
as far as a straight man going, boy, she's got some great knockers. You'll hear a gay man say, boy, he's got a great ass. I mean, it's.
I never hear any gay guy say he's got a great ass. I never hear that. I hear straight guys say she's got a great ass.
Well, I just thought that maybe that.
See, because it was straight people that invented that saying, piece of ass. Gay people don't use that term. At least I'd never hear people using it. Piece of ass.
Well, I'm just saying this: the way that straight men look upon women as being beautiful
Right.
and as gorgeous.
Right.
I think.
Or cute. I mean, you can use these terms to describe anybody.
Right. There's so many adjectives
Right.
to describe it, but I would think
Just like that poll I did last week on Ricky Martin. Was he cute, beautiful, or gorgeous? And then the popular adjective was maricón was the one that won out, overwhelmingly.
I would think that men look at men in the same way as far as straight men looking at women.
That's what
saying
you just
that they're
said.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Well, what's wrong with a gay man saying that another man's beautiful? I just don't. I
Right.
just don't get it.
I don't either.
I think there's so many people.
Well,
who are,
it's America, though. They're very uptight about that. That's how it just sounds,
unfortunately, it seems like everyone in America is so uptight about everything.
That's
They
right.
wanna
Maybe
put-
that's why everybody's blowing each other's brains out.
They want to put blame on everything else except for maybe a little bit of themselves and just the way that society is.
Yeah.
But as far as that hockey call, Neil, that was pretty terminal about the records during the regular season. Everybody knows that the playoffs are totally and completely.
Well, this guy's trying to
new
convince
season.
himself. He's trying to talk himself into it.
And whether we play Buffalo or Boston, it really doesn't make a bit of difference to me. And I really
As long as
enjoy
we win tonight, I don't want to have no Game 7. I picked the Leafs to win the series in 6. I did it very objectively, very rationally. I figured it would take a couple of games for them to adapt to the style that they play and to get a real grip on how to control Jágr, which Yuskevich is doing a great job. And I say,
Great
looks like
job
tonight
last
we
week,
wrap it
boy.
all up.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think they will get it over with tonight because good teams do finish teams off.
There you go.
And I got to say that Detroit is looking like the Blackhawks. I think it is the Blackhawks actually, just in the Detroit.
You can
uniform.
hear those gagging, gurgling sounds, man. They're just gagging on it. And like I said, they had their 2 cups. Enough is enough. Let's move on to somebody else.
Better that we don't have to play them in the finals.
Exactly.
Have a great afternoon.
And back to you.
Bye.
567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. They're dancing in the streets in Toronto, baby. Saturday night they were dancing, they were prancing, they had their blue and white. They were all fired up and pissed off and excited, just like this town, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, gee, the Heat lost the game. I mean, every columnist in this town turned on them like a rat. They lose by 1 point on a last-second shot. They lose by 1 point, and granted, from what I'm reading about it, it wasn't the prettiest of efforts all the way around. They made some turnovers late in the game, but nevertheless, they lose by 1 point, and if they would have won by 1 point, the same guys like Dan LeBastard and David Hyde, Runnin' Hyde, and all these other phonies would have been, oh, hey, we this, and we that, championship, You're such a bunch of phony farts in this town, man. You can smell them 100 miles away. God. You could be driving up there in Fort Pierce or Vero Beach. We probably have people in their cars listening to me all the way up there. If you roll down your window and smell something real bad, that's one of the phony farts wafting his aroma all the way upwind, upstate. Phony baloney, Dan LeBastard, all you other third rate. That's why you're here. You're third rate. I happen to be first rate, but I also happen to be making a lot of money, so I'm trapped here. You know, it reminds me of like at the end of Coach's Corner Saturday night after the first period. Coach's Corner ends and Don Cherry on CBC says, am I great or what? And I thought to myself, you know something, I feel the same way. Am I great or what?
Uh-huh.
Damn right. Here's Aventura. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Two guys come to mind when you say beautiful guys.
Yes?
One would be Cary Grant when he was young. And
No, Cary Grant was handsome.
I don't know, the guy was perfect, you know?
Yeah.
I saw him on Biography last week.
He was also a... I don't want to say it, though.
Really?
He
I don't
was,
know. They didn't say anything
He
about
swung
that.
both ways.
All right, and
Very
the other
funny.
one would be James Dean. I mean, that guy...
Oh, in the middle of my lunch? Oh!
Well, what do you
James
want?
Dean was
hey,
beautiful.
listen, I'm a straight guy. That's my opinion. I don't know.
My golden retriever laid a beautiful dump in my lawn this morning.
All right, and
It looked just like James Dean, as a matter of fact, only it smelled better.
all right, well, and another thing I wanted to say was, you know, I know Whammy is a new station and they're trying to get ratings.
They suck.
It makes me sick what they're doing with this OJ thing.
Yeah.
They don't understand
How do you like that?
they're just perpetuating this sick
And you know something?
interest.
They don't understand. They had the same backlash when they came on the air, back when they were butchering up my show on there in the beginning with all this South Beach Julio crap that they were trying to pull, and they don't realize that 99% of South Florida isn't a part of that, doesn't care about any of that, and resents most of that stuff, and that's one of the reasons that nobody wants anything to do with that television station, and now they're turning around because that doesn't work. Now they're trying to latch on to OJ, and they don't realize the backlash they're going to get from that.
I agree.
The only people going to be watching the OJ crap on there is our buddy
Roy.
and the 3 or 4 OJ liquors we got here in the building.
Well, right before the song, you said the media is sick, and you know what?
That
In
is
this
right.
case, they're a bunch of sickos, man.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
Well, screw OJ.
Cha-cha, Neil.
All right. Toodaloo. Toodles. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. We're looking for a list of beautiful guys today, just to piss off Joe Costello. Beautiful guys. And don't tell me Ricky Martin. I'm not talking about guys that have had 16 facelifts and had to be butched up through a miracle of cosmetic wizardry. Ricky Martin, who's been reinvented. I mean, they must have had like a body transplant with him. He's like a whole new different person right now, that Ricky Martin. She's been remade, so to speak. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Good. I don't know. I just got in the car. I haven't been listening. I don't know if somebody's mentioned this. Anybody mentioned Geraldo last night?
No.
They were talking about the Columbine shootings, and he had a
what a surprise.
This panel of experts. He had
Mm.
Joyce Brothers. He had Don King. He had Alan Dershowitz.
What a panel of experts this is, yeah. God, if we don't have the problem solved by now.
I'm not done yet. He had Reverend, that other black Reverend who's
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton. And he had Rob Reiner. I mean, it's just a cast of characters. And also Jerry Falwell.
Oh,
So
yeah, that'll do
Jerry
it.
Falwell's on there, and Geraldo says, what do you think we ought to do about this? And he says, well, we need to go back to the family life and get the kids in church.
And
when
get
they're
that
young.
goddamn Tinky Winky off the air.
And next thing you know, Alan Dershowitz jumps right in his shot and starts saying, he doesn't even address the Geraldo's question. He goes right at Falwell and says that religion is the culprit of all major aggressions, and from anywhere from the Inquisitions all the way up to what's going on.
God
now.
bless that Jewish boy, Alan Dershowitz. God bless him.
Boy.
He's got a terrible book.
Yeah, they're at each other's throats, but I just wanted to tell you that Dershowitz, so he was, perpetuating everything that you've ever talked about on the radio. So.
And don't forget, he also defended OJ. Okay, thanks. So it goes to show he's not all good. 27 past noon at 560. He's just a typical lawyer, man. He'll take money from anybody, no matter how many people they killed.
Willie, are you still in the bathroom? Yeah, Mom, I'll be right out.
Little Willie Stamper just found something amazing, and his life will never be the same.
God, he sure is in there an awful lot. Are you all right in there, Willie? Almost finished.
Coming soon to theaters everywhere. It's
Yes.
When I Found My Dad's Pornos.
Willie, where did all the Kleenex go? And what's this all over the floor? Were you eating in here again?
From depressed and awkward teen to the happiest guy in school, Willie Stamper has found heaven in his father's hope chest.
Oh, it's okay, Mom. You and Dad go out. I'll stay here and watch the house. I don't mind.
When I Found My Dad's Pornos, rated PG-13. All kids aged 13 must see this film.
PG, pretty good. 1231 at 560 WQAM. Here's a mobile info. 567-0560. Pound 560 on a mobile one line. What can you say about him?
He's an asshole.
That's the best you can do. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, first time caller, Neil.
All right.
All right. I just wanted to say that being a straight man,
Yes,
I
we believe
admire
it.
men like you would admire art. Like you don't have to be an artist or an art dealer to go to an art gallery and see a beautiful painting. And I see beautiful men all the time,
Right.
and I'm straight, and I just wanted to state that.
And when you see one, you're probably jealous.
Sometimes I am, yeah, because
There
they're
you
getting all
go.
the babes. Exactly.
That's right.
I
Well, God
did it.
bless you, sir, for your frank and honest whatever you said.
All right.
Okay, all right. See, there you go. We got a couple of them out there, not too many. They climb into their shell when they hear stuff like this. Oh, see, he's trying to. All I'm trying to do is open up your mind and to get a little honesty out of people, which in this country is a goddamn difficult thing to do. It's almost impossible. I didn't bring it up. Joe Costello's the one that brought it up with his stubbornness because he insists on trying to stay in the Stone Age and just slowly, brick by brick, we're trying to build a brain for this guy and bring him into the real world. Someone who's been so sheltered, it's a miracle that he could find where to start shaving. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. Good morning. It's Robert L. Sr. Listen, my son listens to you on the Internet out in Boulder, Colorado, and Boulder Heights.
Yes, sir.
He just graduated law school, and I wanted to congratulate him through you also on the show like the lady did for her friend. But
Yeah.
my son, Robert L. Jr., graduated. He didn't pass the boards with the other 38% of the class, but he listens to you in Boulder. My other son, Matt, that's on a movie shoot with Woody Harrelson in Las Vegas right now, also listen to you. They introduced me to you years ago, but I've been too busy. This week I'm getting knee surgery on Friday morning, so I wanted to call and say, why don't you see if we can get Robert to call and bust your balls, because he's a golfer, man. I tried to get him to call you. He's part of the country club set.
Yeah, well, he's probably busy playing golf right now.
If he's listening, I wish he would call.
He's probably busy whacking those balls around. Okay, so God bless you. And good luck with your knee. Okay, get a new phone. Okay, one call left on the board. It's not looking too promising. We got an hour and 26 minutes to go. I thought we had a little bit of momentum here, and then Joe Costello came in and ruined the show with all that pretty boy talk, all that fag stuff. You don't understand, Joe. These guys get very upset when they hear that stuff. They retreat. They jump back into that room and they close that closet door, jammed shut and tight. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Well, you don't understand, Neil. It's Monday. These people are busy. They're too busy to talk with you about these things or any other goddamn thing. That's right. I understand. I've only been doing this 600-700 years. By the way, this lunch made me feel a lot better. Clean up that soup, clean up my throat. Man, now if we only get a few calls, I might actually come back tomorrow, but I doubt it. No, I really doubt it. I feel like a real nasty head cold. The one where you kind of like lose your voice, get that bad laryngitis for 3 or 4 days. And George has got all that great phony baloney music he can play for you. William Shatner singing Loosely in the Sky with whatever that. Works for me. There you go.
I am tired and weary.
Yeah.
But I must toil on.
Can't show
the Lord comes to call.
Wink Martindale. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. You know how he knew? Because he had a runaway S. Not that Wink Martindale is, but it's just when you got that many teeth like he's got. Seriously, he's got an enormous mouthful of teeth. And sometimes the S's start like running away a little bit. Runaway S gives you away every time, Wink. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how are you? First-time caller, long-time listener.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with gay people as long as they support the NRA and buy lots of guns.
Yeah. How did we know it was our friend Little Spick that always starts every call, first-time caller, long-time listener, and George and I always look at each other and nod our head like, there it is again, and then he opens up his mouth and says some stupid, pathetic little thing, and he goes over to his boyfriend, and they grab each other around there, and they do a little dance.
And he didn't call, by the way.
No, of course not. But hey, it killed 30 or 40 seconds, so have a great life, okay, if you ever find one. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
See, those people don't understand. I don't give a crap anymore, so it's not going to rattle my cage. I couldn't care less. I got a whole new attitude. Great, sir.
Hey, beautiful. I don't know. That's just a little bit. I can't call a guy beautiful.
Okay, well, that's good. See, I like hearing this, that you can't go that far. You could say he was handsome.
Well, I can use the term pretty.
Yeah.
But beautiful just sounds a little too like
faggy.
Yeah. Something about that, I don't know. And I'm still waiting for Worldly Manor to come across the line. What's the deal with Hank?
Details at 2:00. And of course, don't forget, I picked the filly, and she's back in the barn. If I would have been thinking, which I wasn't, and you notice when Dave Johnson called on Friday, and I apologize profusely, although he don't care, he's a good guy. But I'm not into it. I haven't followed thoroughbred racing in several years now, and my interest is so little. But if I would have really, because I did see the story, the Chris Antley story, and that's a great story. And nobody is talking about it, because the only people you'll hear talking about horse racing, like when Hank comes out at 2, great job again, Hank. He did a super job on ABC on the Preakness. Too bad they had so many audio problems, but that's not his fault. But nevertheless, he did a really good job. But the problem is that the Chris Antley story is a huge human interest story. That's the kind of story that the media almost always love to sink their teeth into. But the only kind of people you hear talk about horse racing are 100 years older than I am. I mean, really old. Because the pure mutuals, like I've told you before, they haven't gone out and got any new blood in. Old, dying off. That's it. That's very sad, but that's the way it is. And then how about that jackass, by the way, that ran in front of the field, runs out on the track, that gook, that maniac? The hell was his name? I got that thing here somewhere. The 22-year-old man who stood on the track at Pimlico as horses raced past him down the stretch was being held Sunday on a first-degree assault charge, a correction official in Baltimore said. Lee Farrell of Bel Air, Maryland, was being held at Baltimore's central booking facility, said Barbara Coe, et cetera, and so on. Maniac. I mean, it was one of the earlier races before the Preakness, and this lunatic is out there, runs out, drunk as a skunk, out of his mind, and stands in front of the field. How the hell did he get out there, first of all? Maniacs. This is the American effing way, baby. Everywhere you go, there's crazy people. So whatever you do, make sure that we preserve those fetuses, because God only knows we got a real shortage of people in the U.S. of A. 21 before 1 at 560 WQM. If you
beware of exploding balls.
Oh, yeah, that's what this line's for. Out in here, it's Tuesday, say it again. Stop, whoa, good God, y'all. That's what we paid for. This ticket cost $8.50. We've been waiting for so damn long to see the beginnings of all they want. That's why we do not like that. It's wrong to wait in line with some better outfits on. Stop, whoa, good God, yo. That's what this line's for. Yoda when he's younger, sit again. Stop, whoa, huh. That's what we're here for. Oh, there ain't no Ewok. Stop, whoa, oh, yeah. That's what we live for. We love R2D2, say it again now. Stop, whoa, good God, yo. Wish I was a Jedi. Bring on the stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah, thank God for Star Wars. Boy, that's going to liven up the goddamn summer until those Y2K hysteria movies come out. Anyway, the movie I was trying to think of before, Kiss Before Dying, the original with Robert Wagner, and the sequel with the mediocre Matt Dillon. Did I say Matt Damon? Like I said, mediocre. Anyway, I got somebody for the beautiful category. And if there's anybody can dispute this, I don't care how much it's going to hurt your macho-ness, okay? And what got me thinking about this, I was thinking about black guys. You know, black guys who are really homophobic, and I mean, they're just that macho thing almost as much as Julio's. And I thought, black guys, I can come up with a perfect guy for beautiful, and that's the guy that plays Malcolm on The Young and the Horny. Do we know what his name is, by the way? Which is so beautiful that he's also a model on the side, or on his back, or on his rectum, or something. Do we know what his name is? Malcolm?
Yeah, I used to.
Oh, we used to. Now he's beautiful.
I mean, I've heard it a million times.
Could anybody debate that? Is that a debatable point? The most macho guy in the universe, even John Wayne, if he could be here today, whose middle name was Gladys or whatever the hell it was, even John Wayne would say, yeah, that's a beautiful guy. I'm telling you, he would say that. Marion. Wasn't that his name? Marion?
His first name.
Marion Jean, that's kind of like Jean, what is it? Jose Maria. It's an Anglo version of Jose Maria. Marion Sally Wayne. How come none of these say next? Am I missing something? There's not any of them. Well, here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
The word is handsome.
No,
for a straight guy.
Yeah.
anytime that you delve into the words of beautiful or pretty or attractive even is pushing it, I think. A little bit is, I think it should be handsome.
Attractive is pushing it?
It's borderline, like attractive, like I'm attracted to that person because, I'm coming out of the closet.
No, that's not what that means. No, attractive just means pleasant looking. Attractive doesn't even mean all that great, It's
in
fact,
right in, it's on the fence. It's on the fence.
Usually attractive, you would say, that's like saying if somebody gave you a meal and they said, well, how did you like it? And you said, well, it was different. That would be a way of saying it sucked, but in a polite way. So attractive is like not very good,
But if you're talking super masculine and you're worried about coming out of the closet or letting someone know.
But wait a minute. But Malcolm on A Young and a Horny, who's like a bodybuilder and muscle bound and hung like a giraffe from what they tell me. I mean, this guy, you couldn't possibly consider him being, I guess you could.
He's attractive. If you get into the terms of beautiful, you're talking as a female form. As something
how come if I say a woman is beautiful, I'm not talking like a straight guy?
Hey, maybe you like the women too.
Okay, pal. Have a great day. You're really pushing it now, man. You're really delirious. 567-0560. You see, he backed himself into a corner just like Joe did, only Joe snapped out of it immediately when I threatened to tell that story. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I feel like I'm in Niagara Falls today. I got the whole world over a barrel. Boy, I'm making a big comeback, What am I doing that's so good? Is it that CoQ10 that I'm taking? Is that what it is? And all that other good stuff I'm taking? That might be it. Am I losing any weight?
No.
Here's Aventura. Hello.
Hi, I've got 3 selections for you. Jan Michael Vincent, Bret Michaels from Poison, and how about the 2 guys from Milli Vanilli?
First of all, Jan Michael Vincent was never beautiful. He was like rugged looking, right? Huh? He was handsome. But you wouldn't say he was beautiful. Beautiful is like a step away from pretty. I don't want to say pretty, because pretty boy, you know what pretty boy, what that connotes. Don't you know what pretty boy? We know what that means. Like pretty boy Floyd. 567-0560, but they sure could sing. Couldn't they, Milli Vanilli?
No.
567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, I never really thought about this that much until Joe came up here and opened up a mouth and made some stupid comment. But, I don't know. John Stamos? Blackie? No, not beautiful. Hot. Here's Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Pretty good. You know what? In your whole debate, a good-looking guy's a good-looking guy. A good-looking girl's a good-looking girl.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong, whether a man admits it or a woman admits it or whatever. Hey, when you're good-looking, everybody knows it.
And everybody's jealous, too.
Yeah, that too.
Guy goes into a singles bar and sees some hot number sitting there at the bar, and she's 2 row seats down is a guy that looks 100 times better. He's thinking to myself, God damn it, look at that guy.
I got no shot.
Right, exactly.
Well, let me tell you real quick, just changing the subject. Massive accident on Palmetto 836, road work on 102nd and 8th Street Southwest, and I feel bad every time I hear in the news that a good cop gets hurt or whatever. But that must be like a 2% of the police population, because they got 3 porters sitting on 102nd and 8th Street, sitting there while all this construction work's going around.
Yeah.
And they got a car, just a white truck, no signage on it, anything, blocking the left turn lane. I get behind it. I notice it's got its blinkers on. I go around it. You would have sworn that I killed a family of 19 like homeless people or something. I mean, they just went ballistic. Yelling, I thought they were going to start shooting at me.
Really?
Yeah. Go straight, you idiot, moron. I mean, it was unbelievable, Neil.
Yeah.
And I really got pissed off. I lowered my window. I said, why are you screaming at me? There's nothing here to indicate that I can't make a left. Shut up. Don't question me. Go straight. I mean, hysterical. If they would take that much energy into overtime.
Maybe we don't have to have Miami number 5 on the list of violent crime. That's right.
First of all, you don't need 3 guys. I think you know what it was? I interrupted their story. They were sitting there talking. And if you take that energy and you put those guys into Overtown, Liberty City, Little Haiti, anywhere like that, I'd like to see how tough they are there. First of all, they're not that tough because they're never there. And it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay, don't do it again.
Okay, Neil. Bye.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
What?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering what's up with that whammy station. Can you believe that?
Do I believe what? Desperate is the word you're looking for, sir. Desperate.
Exactly.
Desperate and stupid.
Yes.
How
right.
to turn off the public in one easy lesson. They know how to do it.
Yep. But the only thing that I got, what do you think about the NBA coverage? The Heat.
5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Let's go to a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
I'm a first-time calling Julio,
Uh-huh.
and I just wanted to say that yo no soy maricón. But that being said,
Yes.
I think a man could admire a beautiful-looking man as much as he could admire a beautiful-looking woman.
Right.
I don't have a problem
Well,
saying
see,
that.
when guys in America, they think that if you admit that you're admitting that you have lust. You can look at something and say that it's beautiful. Doesn't mean that you want to have sex with it.
Well, I'll tell you what. What's even better
You can
than
see
that.
a tree that looks beautiful. Doesn't mean you want to go up to it and hump it, necessarily.
Absolutely.
Right.
But it's always a good excuse when I have an opportunity to look at a good-looking man and I'm with my wife. That way she doesn't give me a hard time when I look at all the good-looking women.
Right.
That's all I have to
well,
say.
try it next time. Say, boy, look at that guy. Isn't he beautiful?
Exactly.
And good luck in your new marriage. Okay. Hey, look at that. One call left on the board, and it's a traffic report, and that's it. Boy, that's good. Got a lot of music here I wanted to get on today. You know something? I shouldn't be eating this. Because I'm telling you, I was borderline already. What?
I'm on the edge.
I'm right on the edge. I am so close to a... Oh. I mean, this is very good. Thank you, Brad, over at Tony's, but shouldn't be doing this. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a traffic report, mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, I got more than a traffic report, but this is like a parking lot here by the 836.
Yeah.
By the airport.
Yes, sir.
I've been like 45 minutes into it, and I still don't see the end of it.
Oh, great.
I have no idea if it's got something to do with the Palmetto thing, but man, I've seen like 20 airplanes actually take off already. Listen, I got the definition of the difference between beautiful and handsome.
Okay.
I'm going to make it all simple for you.
Yes, sir.
If you take a guy and
Please.
you can actually you put a wig on it and lipstick and it looks like a woman, that's a beautiful or pretty guy.
No.
Yeah. A handsome guy, even if you put a wig on it and lipstick, it still looks like a guy. It might look like a drag
Yeah.
or something, but it still looks like a guy. That's a handsome guy.
I think you're wigging out. Okay, good luck, pal. You'll need it. Okay, he's wigging out. I can't imagine putting a wig on Malcolm. Can you? Huh?
No.
No. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, most of the guys that I've seen in my life that I would say were beautiful were like not celebrities. In other words, I don't know the name. I would like to know the name, but I don't know the name.
You know their initials sometimes.
Sometimes I know initials, right? See, you want to start edging into that territory now. You're the one that always says to me, you chase him away. Over the years, you've always said that. You chase him away. I'm minding my own business. I'm not opening up my mouth and trying to get anybody all panicky. He was real friendly in there this morning, laughing at my material when I was yucking it up with Defoe. He knows who it is. Believe
You normally
me.
don't hang out over there.
What? Well, I'm going to be hanging it out a lot right there on the window. I'm going to be like that. Right up here. That's right. Give him just a little subtle hint. Yeah, that's right. Why the hell not? You're in here drooling with Shannon the other day, getting her bending down on the floor here, bending over for all kinds of stuff. Oh, hey, Shannon, you see that stuff way down there on the bottom shelf? Let's get that all straightened out.
No, the stuff in the back.
Yeah, way on the bottom and the back. That's right. God, talk about doing deep knee bends. So I'll be hanging out over there a lot more. I need to go bond with my good friends on that worst team in the morning. Check out what's going on in that out-of-control room. I asked our program director this morning, I said, who hired the intern? He ran out of here like a bat out of hell. He flew out of here. I guess he was anxious to go back and bond with his new desk. 12:55 at 560 WQAM. Let me
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Perhaps one of the most interesting words in the English language today is the word out of all of the English words that begin with the letter F, is the only word that is referred to as the F word. It's the one magical word. Just by its sound can describe pain, pleasure, hate, and love. As most words in the English language, is derived from German, the word frichen, which means to strike. In English, falls into many grammatical categories. As a transitive verb, for instance, John Shirley. Its meaning's not always sexual. It can be used as an adjective, such as, John's doing all the work. As part of an adverb, Shirley talks too much. As an adverb enhancing an adjective, Shirley is beautiful. As a noun, I don't give a As part of a word, abso-absolutely, or incredible. And as almost every word in a sentence, the f***ers. As you must realize, there aren't too many words with the versatility of as in these examples describing situations such as fraud, I got at the used car lot. Dismay, off it. Trouble, I guess I'm really now. Aggression, don't with me, buddy. Dismissal, why don't you go outside and play hide and go yourself? I'm sure you can think of many more examples. Say it loudly and proudly. You.
And back at you. Okay, 1 o'clock exactly, right on the nose at 560 WQN, the Hank Goldberg Show from Shula Steak 2, coming up at 2 o'clock. Here's an interesting fact. It says, sorry, Neil, I was the guy who sent you the fax and said you were stupid and brought up military time. I wanted to apologize for the personal insults. Living in this state must be taking its toll on me. I must need a 12-step program for assholes, it says. Florida sucks, and so do the Panthers for raising their ticket prices. Sorry again, he says. This was one of the guys that was sitting out there laughing at us and just amazing at how stupid we were. Stupid? How do you like that, huh? And then all of a sudden the NASA scientist thing came in, and everybody else with a brain was saying exactly the same thing about that millennium thing.
You thought that I was stupid?
Yeah, until we got those faxes and realized what a brilliant guy he was. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, him. Shamar, oh, this is Shawan, but that's close. Thank you, Mike, but you're a little bit off. Shamar Moore. That's the correct name for the actor that plays Malcolm on The Young and the Horny. And believe me, he is beautiful. I don't care whether you're a fag. I don't care whether you're a number 1 or a number 6 on a Richter scale. I don't care whether you're a number, I don't care what number you are, okay? Beautiful. Am I right? Even George agrees, who's about as...
It's not a word that usually comes to mind with us, but there's nothing wrong with it.
What do you mean with us? With
us
straight people?
Guys.
I didn't say it's a word that necessarily comes to mind. I said, but it's possible you can say that.
It's accurate.
It's accurate. That's right. Even though you being in this country as long as you've been most of your life, you're hung up about it and you don't want to say it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got 65,000 open lines here and 1 hour to go. Are we going to make it till 2 today?
No.
Is there a Chinaman's chance in hell?
No.
We're going to make it till 2 o'clock with his dead-ass crowd? I'm making a comeback. I came in with a nasty sore throat and a little bit of a head cold this morning for the first time in a long time. Although my mother, of course, I call her to tell her I'm not coming for lunch tomorrow, and she's got to always come back with a sarcastic comeback, right, sweetheart? Always come back with a real sarcastic comment, even though I sent her a nice check for Mother's Day. I mean a nice big fat check that she wasn't expecting. Maybe you run around too much. Although usually the word is schmorry around. Anybody out there know what that word is?
No.
A nice Yiddish word which I think she made up. Schmorry around. As in stay in the house, lock the doors, and don't ever go outside again. As opposed to, gee, I hope you're feeling better. Take some chicken soup and I'll see you next week. As opposed to just that, there's always got to be the obligatory shot. You know what I'm saying, Ma? You know what I'm talking about? Ma, nudgy, 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 nudgy. There's always got to be that obligatory crap to make me feel like I'm some kind of a useless piece of turd, and I hope you enjoy the check. Here's a lady in Kendall. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
We enjoy your show.
Of course.
And my son has he likes to say, put the lotion in the basket.
All right. Okay, thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. What's so with the kids? Aren't they in
It puts the lotion in the basket.
school? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I want to find out from the people in this audience if their mothers nudgy and nag them as much as my mother does. If they're perpetually, constantly nudging and nagging and you never, no matter what you do the right thing. If you're always, you know what I'm talking about? George knows what I'm talking about, but he don't want to admit it because he don't want to talk about his mother. And I can't say that I blame him. But
talk away.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Long time, first time. I'm Jamaican, living in Florida most of my life. And
yeah, man.
Thank you. I want to address one thing about the cops down here.
Go ahead.
I think majority of the cops that's out here were the type of kids at high school that always got picked on, that always got beat up on.
And now they want to turn it around and take out their frustrations on the rest of us?
Exactly. I think majority of cops is. There's no real true cops out here anymore, I don't think.
Just a few. Just the ones that listen to the show.
Okay.
Is that it? That's it. I guess that was it. Okay. Probably just got a ticket. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got 100 different things cooking, percolating on the stove here today. Is this audience into any of them?
No.
Are they into anything?
No.
Oh, well, it's Monday. You don't understand. I'm sick of frickin' Mondays, okay? I almost said the F-U word right there. I almost did. And you know something? I wouldn't have dumped it either because it was in a moment of emotion and passion. Do you believe that?
No.
It sounds good, though. Tired of these crappy goddamn Mondays. I'm tired of coming back to town on a plane on a Sunday evening and looking outside that window and seeing the lights of the city and realizing that city is here. And knowing that I'm going to be walking through that goddamn jetway into a sweltering, humid sweatbox known as Miami. And then sitting here on a Monday morning doing my goddamn best to do my duty. Sore throat and all. Sore throat and cold. You want a medal or something? Is that it? Sure. Goddamn right I want a medal. What's the date today, by the way? 17th? Let's see. A week from today, 24th, 20. A week from tomorrow's payday. Like I said, let's keep moving along. 567-0560. By the way, every guy that called said you're full of crap, Joe. That's what they said. What?
He heard the one guy say Hanson.
Oh, he's been listening? Like I said, they didn't all say it, but they will. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Two things real quick. The FU cart that you just played is one of the greatest George Carlin bits ever. George Carlin did that originally 10 years ago.
100 years ago, right.
Did you check out Michael Russo's column yesterday about the creases in hockey?
Oh, yeah, you know, he's quoting Brian Murray on this whole thing like Brian Murray's a genius. Brian Murray was one of the guys that helped him put this thing in the first place.
And he says they should melt the ice and play with an oar.
I'm going to tell you something. Michael Russo is such a, I don't know how he's got time to even talk to Brian Murray because he doesn't miss a feeding. You notice how he's another one. He's ballooning up like a cow.
I was just going to say, why would he put his picture in the paper? He looks like he's on helium.
He is. They stuck a bicycle pump up his
rectum.
Back to Toronto.
Yes.
Talk to you later.
Okay. What is he saying? What is this man talking about? Do you have any idea?
No.
567-0560. There are words. I'm hearing words. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time putting them together in a coherent, cohesive sentence. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So let's get back to the year 2000 thing. Oh. All these people on Friday are, and not just arguing or debating like for fun, but they were pissed off. Pissed off. They were adamant. They were militant about it. And you wonder why people in America blow each other's brains out or kill each other with a baseball bat over a goddamn parking spot? Angry. Just like somebody said. Weren't you the one that was telling me about the kids that come here, the exchange students?
Yes.
And they see all the material things that American kids have got and how easy their lives are by comparison with most of the rest of the world. And they always ask, what the hell are all these kids so angry about? What are you Americans so effing angry about? Beats the hell out of me. Why can't they all be calm, cool, and collected like me? God damn it. I'm not angry. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Couple things. I'm the bimbo that calls every once in a while. I'm the guy that weighed 610 pounds back in July.
Yeah.
And I just hit 390.
Great.
But I listen to you, and when you talk about food, I just reverse it, Keeps me away from it. Beautiful. First of all, I have 3 boys, and that's all I do is tell them how beautiful they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then my son will say, no, I'm handsome. I said, no, you're beautiful.
Well, how old is he? 40?
You know, he's 15. I got
Oh.
15, 12, and 6. And the 6-year-old, he's the one that keeps saying, Dad, I'm not beautiful, I'm handsome. I
Yeah.
said, no, you're beautiful. But, you know, you were talking about Robert Wagner.
don't most parents think their kids are beautiful?
Oh, I think they are, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Really.
Uh-huh.
It takes a better man to say somebody's beautiful than... but, you know, you were talking about Robert Wagner.
Yes.
And you know those still shots they do in actors when they first come up and everything?
Right.
Because I watch a lot of the old black and white movies, you know. Robert Wagner was beautiful.
He was.
Robert Mitchum, when he first came out, was beautiful. You know, they had these pictures of him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But Robert Wagner, one of the first things he started with Rita Hayworth, I can't think of the title of it, but he was a soldier and she had lost her legs or couldn't use her legs, lost the use of her legs. He was playing a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the first movies he came out. And that movie, you could see how beautiful he was in that movie.
He was beautiful.
Yeah. And the mother thing, won't leave me alone. 46 years old, wife, 3 kids, won't leave me alone.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
I'm going to disown you. I can't take this crap.
Yeah.
You know, what do you? How come you do that? Why don't you do this?
Yeah,
You know?
there you go.
Jesus.
The bottom line to it is, she's smart, we're dumb. You understand? That's a mother's attitude. She's smart. Everything she does is smart. Whatever we do, we're dumb.
Doesn't matter what it is.
That's right.
You know?
Okay.
Have a good day, pal.
And back to you. There you go. There's a guy that made some sense that can relate to what I'm talking about. The rest of them are like that. They're too busy playing with their tinky winky.
Yeah.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. If you see me out in the hallway tomorrow at about 9:45, standing with my face up against the glass, yanking on my tinky winky, you'll know the reason why now anyway. And maybe beautiful has something to do with that. See, that's bad. You got me going to this whole thing on the air now. Yes, you did.
Blame me. That's a good excuse.
Okay.
I want to bang you in the butt, honey.
Tonight on the Triple X Files, Agent Big Rocks Mulder tries to convince Anal Scully into a three-way.
Come on, Anal. You know we made a vow to explore everything.
Your last little exploration left me handcuffed naked to a tree in the middle of nowhere for 7 hours.
That was an accident. I got distracted.
Chasing through the woods to catch that deer because you wanted to see what it felt like does not count as distracted. That's just sick.
Oh, give me a break. Can we freeway or not? I'll bet B.J. Skinner would love to explore your third dimension.
Well, okay. But the moment you ask me to put a plastic bag over your head, it's over.
That's tonight on Channel 69, the Triple X Files.
Speaking of that channel, by the way, here's a fax that says, perhaps that bald, egotistical kike, Matty Lesham, would like somebody to butcher his family and gut them. Then we could take the person that did it and put them on whammy and act as if it's all fun and games. And yes, it says, my mother is a huge, pus-filled, rotting, stinking, infected pain in the ass. Nag, nag, nag. It goes on and on.
Oh, it's from my brother.
It must be, yeah. Nag, nudgy, nag, no matter what you do. Why couldn't you do this? Maybe you run around too much. Maybe you're too much schmorrying around. Whatever the hell that means. I think she made it up. See, no, seriously, a lot of times I'll use words that I think are Yiddish, and people say, huh? Was? Because my family, they're very creative. They just used to make a lot of words up. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless. I'll tell you another guy that was beautiful, dead. He's dead now for many, many years. Brandon DeWilde. Oh, don't tell me you don't know who that was.
I know
he was in the movie All Fall Down with Warren Beatty, the one I used to talk about all the time, with Carl Malden with the big nose and Warren Beatty.
I just can't picture him. I'm sure
Brandon DeWilde. He was beautiful. And he was also in that movie with... was it John Wayne, that cowboy movie, the year with an S? I can never think of the name of that movie.
Not Shane.
Shane.
The little kid?
Well, he was a little kid then. He wasn't a little kid in this other movie.
Older? Okay, yeah, Shane with Alan Ladd.
Alan Ladd, there you go. And then the prequel was called Parshane. 56705. See, you don't even know what that means, and you're laughing.
No. It's just Yiddish is funny.
It's another Yiddish word. It means
the funniest gutter language I've ever heard.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Does your mom have the habit of saying what you did 20 years ago?
No.
Oh, my mother is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The minute she calls, she brings up stuff that I brought up 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, my mother usually repeats over and over again what she told me 20 minutes ago, not 20 years ago. Repeats over and over again.
That's just as bad. And you know who was gorgeous when he was young?
Yeah.
Charlton Heston.
Okay. Thank you for ruining the show. Okay. Oh, my God.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, one call left on the board. That's it. I guess I can go home now. I did my job for a Monday. Pretty good under the circumstances. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Neil Rogers begs for calls on 560 WQAM. Wait till the hammer comes on at 2 o'clock and those heat calls start coming in. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? You'll see. One thing about this station, man, there's no shortage of those calls from those same idiots, those same lifeless nerds, a very young Florida Gator team. You know the ones I'm talking about. That's all they know. They live it, they sleep it, they breathe it, and they haven't got any idea what they're talking about. That's the best part. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Hey, since we all voted on talking about religion, I was going to bring up something. I'm a Catholic cracker. I'm 23 years old. I went through Catholic school, kindergarten to 12th grade. And the only good thing about it, I was an altar boy in middle school. And the only good thing about it was we used to work funerals at the parish I was at. There would be like 5 or 6 deaths a week. And we'd get silver dollars from the funeral directors. That was the only cool thing that came about all that.
Great.
And I'd just like to say one thing. I'm going to die if Rhett Warner gets a cup. Take it easy, Neil.
He's playing good. He's playing real good. Rhett Warner there, he wasn't good enough for us. All these other guys that are playing good, Marty Straka, Rhett Warner, not good enough for the Panther organization. Jason Woolley, just calm down. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. If this was any kind of a town, when Joe Costello, just as a side, as a throwaway, when we got involved in that conversation about beautiful-looking men, there should have been at least women should have been calling in on this show with a list as long as your goddamn, that's right, arm. But not in this town. I'm going to tell you one thing. You know something? You become like the town. And when you live here long enough, you become exactly like what the town is. I've reached the point now where I become like almost a recluse. You know what I'm saying? Even when I go on these trips on the weekend, I see people that I recognize. I don't even speak to them because I'm like, I don't know what it is. My growth has been stunted at a very advanced age. Not that I was ever some bubbly, effervescent, outgoing person. That isn't my personality off the air. But I was never like a recluse. But now it's like I feel, I feel like I'm in Miami. I live it, I breathe it. It's in my pores. I can smell it. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Brandon Dowell was also in David and Lisa. Wasn't that his most famous movie?
He wasn't in that movie. That was Keir Delay.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Oh, you know, if my mother said that and I told her she was wrong, she would say, well, I'm just stupid. What can I do?
Yeah. Exactly. God bless you, sir, and good luck to you. You'll need it. What is it with mothers? What is it with our mothers? They mean well. See, we always have to say that it's kind of like a disclaimer. They mean well. Your mother does not mean well.
She was an evil, rotten bitch.
Okay, but in my case, see, my mother thinks she means well. Let's put it that way. She thinks she means well, but in the meantime, nag and nudgy and nudgy and nudgy and never let up for a second. Did you see that nice planter I put in the house? No. You don't even know what's going on in your house. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know there was all that much going on in my house, to be very upfront about it. But she's got all kinds of stuff that's going on in there that I have no idea it's going on. But she knows. Here's a mobile in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful Man. I got a few things for you. Beautiful Man. Remember the actor from the 50s, Jeffrey Chandler?
Yes.
Jeff Chandler? Wasn't, I thought he was a pretty guy.
He was very good looking, yeah.
Yeah, he had and also, did you see 60 Minutes last night?
No.
Well, because they had Sean Connery and they showed him as a young man, and he was, I would say, quite comely also.
Comely, yeah. I'll tell you who was an outstanding looking man when he was young, which most people here probably never saw, was William Holden.
I only think of him as like a craggy-faced middle-aged guy.
Right, exactly, like in Network. But I saw, maybe a couple of years ago, I saw some old black and white movie from the early 40s that he was in. I even mentioned to my mother, speaking of mothers, I said, boy, that William Holden was a good-looking guy when he was young. She said, oh, yeah, I used to have a crush on him. He was something. Yeah, he was.
And whilst you were away, not this weekend, but the weekend before, in the Sunday paper,
they had an article, and I should have kept it, but I didn't. But they had an article about a scientist who is reconciling the who was making an attempt to reconcile the evolutionists and the Bible.
Oh yeah. Oh, they've been doing that forever, and they make it up as they go along.
And they had a whole
Look, you can't have it both ways. If the Bible says that God created the universe and the earth and the day and the night and the sun and the moon and the stars, and then He created Adam, and then He decided He needed a woman, and He took His rib and He made Eve. You can't fill in the blanks. That's it. That's the name of the game. He invented man first. You can't have a prequel to that. Okay? They're trying to stick in their own prequel, is what they're doing.
I mean, it was so absurd. I mean, and this is a guy, you know.
And all these jackasses that keep quoting from this ridiculous book, all you got to do is read that first couple of paragraphs there in Genesis, and you realize that some idiotic men wrote this crap, and you throw it in a wastebasket where it belongs. You put it in the trash.
Exactly.
Not even a good novel.
And another newspaper headline that struck me was when they wrote the story about that poor woman that was dragged to her death up in Delray at the delicatessen there.
Mm-hmm.
The headline banner over the article read, "Pro football dreams squashed."
Yeah.
Like you know,
isn't that a shame?
Isn't that a shame? You know, my wife and I were talking about that, and we said, you know, what do you do with these kids? You know, the mothers of these boys.
Scumbags.
Right. You know, my wife said, she said, put them to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the last thing I have for you is, isn't Yiddish Jubonics?
Okay. Sag es on. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady mobile in the Gables. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, I am.
I want you to know that I started listening to you after my 84-year-old aunt told me you're the only person in Miami that makes people think. And isn't it a shame that it's a lost art?
Yeah.
And I thought that was a lovely quote for you.
Well, of course, in Miami, you can't lose it if you never had it.
That's true. That's what she said. Isn't it a crime that people don't? The other thing, the most beautiful men, my vote definitely goes for Tyrone Power.
He was pretty.
I think he was by far one of the handsomest men. I mean, he and the early Roger Moore was another one.
Well, if you like those Brits.
But Tyrone, I think, has my vote.
Okay.
Again, keep up the good work.
Okay.
And we women are out there.
God bless you.
I do.
See ya. 567. I got such a headache. Is it from the cold, or is it from, you think, maybe from this show today?
Uh-huh.
That could be it. I think it's from the show. I think it's from when Joe Costello walked in here and started hucking me a chonic with that auto racing crap. 5670560. How'd that show go, by the way, with Dale Earnhardt on Saturday? Big one, huh? Big show Saturday. The phone, they weren't begging for calls on that show, man. The phones ring off the 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Those phones are smoking. Smoking. With a bunch of rednecks. That's right. They got one finger in their nose. They got one finger in their rectum. Both at the same time, which takes, you have to be pretty coordinated. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was in Toronto this weekend.
Yes?
I flew over on the Air Canada flight with you on Friday.
You did?
Yes. But you were towards the front, and I was last seat, last row.
Oh, you were way in the back?
Way in the back.
Oh, you were in coach.
I was in coach.
Like Robbie Niedermeyer and Nikki Taylor.
Exactly. But still pretty good service with Air Canada.
Well, how come you didn't say hello?
I did say hello. You were in the
Oh, that's right. When you came through that, well, God bless you, sir. There you go. Can I tell you something? I got to admit something, because I'm sure this guy doesn't listen to my show. There is a guy who's always in first class who lives in Toronto. He works here in Miami, okay? And the only reason I know this is he was sitting behind me coming back last night with some older guy. And I say guy like, you know what I'm saying? And they just happened to be sitting together. And I heard the whole life story as I was sitting there. This kid is on this flight every weekend. I mean, no matter when the flight that you took going over?
Yes.
9/8/9/19 on Friday night. He takes that flight going over and the one coming back 9/14 Sunday every week. And I've seen him about a half a dozen times at least. I think one time I sat next to him. And I don't know if it's the Miami thing in me. He's a real nice guy. He's from Toronto. He's a good-looking young guy. Not that I'm looking to hit on him or anything, although it's a good idea. And I don't know anything about him except what I heard. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible.
Was it the weather was the most beautiful weather this week?
Wasn't that beautiful, man? It was heaven up there. And Saturday night after that game ended, they were driving up and down the streets, honking their horns and yelling and screaming and go Leafs go. It was great.
We went to Gretzky's restaurant to watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nice place. pretty a little touristy, but they have a patio upstairs. It's absolutely perfect.
Right.
That's the place to be.
Did you see Coach's Corner with Don Cherry at the end where he says, am I great or what?
No, we went
It
to
was
Yorkville.
beautiful.
We went to Yorkville and sat out at some bars afterwards.
Right.
Great night. Got a little bit cool on Saturday night.
Okay,
They have the
listen,
heaters out there.
trust one thing when I tell you. Don't eat the food on Air Canada.
Well, I ate some this morning. I'm still alive.
Okay.
Can I call Matt Sundin a douchebag?
Zagazun.
He's asleep.
Okay.
Bye.
Don't be knocking the sweet, okay? Everybody else is doing their thing now. It's Bearism. We just like the regular year. We've split it up, move it around, you know? All these kids, Lonnie Bohannes, they're doing it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Maybe if I listened less and talked more.
Bigger than mine, can't believe what I've seen. I just went to take a leak, I had to take a peek. Bigger than mine, at the next urinal.
Word.
Now I know why this golden boy couldn't get close to the wall. I remember the big thud when he whipped it out. From behind the zipper it came a foot-long trouser trout. In order to grab mine, I gotta get a tweezer. Now I know why my wife said I could never please her. I bet he's really proud. I looked, he was so endowed. I had to look away. I bet that he's really proud. I had to look away. I hope he don't think I'm gay.
Oh, look at this. Somebody sent me, it's Jim Gordon on the Rangers, Toronto playoff overtime in the early 60s. How do you like that? Who is this from? Somebody at Westwood won, and it doesn't say who. Doesn't that drive you nuts? It says David, and I have no idea David who. I think that says David. Tape of Jim Gordon. Remember we were doing that thing on the David Oh, here it is. Oh, it is from David Halberstam himself. Well, where the hell did this come from? From Westwood, one in New York. Dave Halberstam, who wrote that great book about all the New York sportscasters, sends me a tape of Jim Gordon doing the Rangers-Leafs game back in the 60s. Thank you so much, Dave. Good guy. Got screwed over by the Heat. Yeah, there you go. God getting even. God getting even with Pat Riley and the Heat organization for what they did to Dave Halberstam. And you can take part of the blame, Mike Mayo, you jackass. By the way, you know what they put on their fries in Amsterdam? Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, long time listener. Actually, I think if I remember right, I called you the last time about 20 years ago when you were at W Snooze.
Yes, sir.
Is that where you were then? And
I was there.
You were doing shows with rabbis and stuff like that. Do you remember?
Boy.
Yes.
and
Wasting my time.
Actually, when I called you, the one time I called you, I was actually giving you a hard time because I was really into this heavy trip about saying that anti-Semitism really doesn't exist and some other nonsense that I was into at my much younger time. But actually, I want to thank you. I'm in the car with my son, who is now at college, but whenever he comes in, he always gets his major dose of Neil whenever he comes in.
God bless him.
He loves you. And we're sitting in the car, I'm driving him to the airport. But I wanted to say that I want to thank you because, in a way, I've become really comfortable being a Jew, even though I am not religious.
Boy.
And for that matter, neither is my son. But we really identify strongly as Jews, and I think part of the influence for that was from you, because you're a guy who doesn't believe in God.
You know, I saw a show in Toronto. I was watching Killing Some Time yesterday before the plane. I saw a show on TV and they were talking about secular Judaism, about people that don't believe the religious part.
Yes.
But, and of course, I look at it as culinary Judaism, people that enjoy deli but don't believe the bullcrap, you know.
Well, you know, there's enough there for everybody,
That's right.
I mean,
Nothing like good kishki.
Who the hell said that there's one way of being Jewish? So we want to thank you for that because we're finding our own way of doing it, and it really feels good. But keep on the good work, and maybe another 20 years I'll give you another call.
And Zagazun.
Take it easy.
Okay. 567-0560. We're teaching Yiddish to Goyim. How do you like that?
Oh!
That's what this show has accomplished. You wonder, what have you done all your life? Teaching Yiddish words to Goyim. Even Schwarzers out there are saying stuff like that. Huh? Well, it's better than calling each other niggers, for crying out loud. Hey, you dumb Schwarzer. That's better than saying nigger. Nigger's, I don't know. I just don't like saying nigger. Not that I'm afraid to say it on the air, the N-word. I mean, it's so silly. Nigger, nigger, nigger. As I say it 100 times, it doesn't mean anything anymore. You know. But Schwarzer is like so much more colorful. Oh, that's a bad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. And like I said, if you dark guys out there would all look like Malcolm on A Young and a Horny, then we could all get along, man. Wow. Can you imagine? Talk about cementing race relations. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Of course, most black guys probably look upon him as being white. Mobile in Miami. Hello. 11 minutes and 49 seconds later, and they're gone. On our dime, too. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yes, I'd just like to comment on the nice-looking guy thing. I think Jeff DeForest was pretty nice-looking.
Yeah, until he got weighed 800 pounds. Okay, that's probably the same guy that started this morning, okay? The first call with that phony baloney about his parents sold him partridge in a pear tree or some bullcrap, whatever the hell that was. If you got something to say about Defoe, call him up yourself and tell him right to his fat face, okay? You spineless, gutless piece of puke, you backstabbing scumbag. Everybody in this town, man, backstabbers. You got something to say it to their face, just like Defoe with that thing about that fax. If you wanted the fax, why didn't you come in here and ask for it, Fatso, okay, when I talked about it right on the air, right to your puss, instead of going on the air trying to stir up a bunch of contrived crap because he knew the Heat were going to take the pipe and that they were going to be left without anything. So now the only thing they got to fall back on, you know what it is?
Oh, God.
That's right, contrived controversy. Look what it did for Mr. Ego. Look where it landed him. On a station without any call letters, on a station that not only doesn't show up in ratings, but nobody even knows where to find it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know, he's always been a very good-looking man. I always thought was probably the most handsome man on the face of the planet.
Who?
Errol Flynn.
Oh, he was also a swashbuckler.
And David Niven, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You understand?
Well, I don't know how
I don't think you'd say that either one of those guys were beautiful. They were like,
I thought for
beautiful?
a manly, good-looking man.
Manly good-looking. Errol Flynn was manly? Oh, boy.
Oh, whatever.
Swashbuckler.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Okay, next will be telling me that Montgomery Clift was a good manly. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Durrell. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes. I'm holding it. Take your time. We got a lot of time.
Made me run all the way from the kitchen.
Good.
Hey, Neil, I heard on the news, I check it on, in your news during the break that OJ's going to be on Whammy.
That's not news. That's a spot. They're buying. You think we would put that on the news? We would promote it here? They're buying spots to promote that crap, that embarrassment.
I would like to know who would actually give a rat's ass about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, 3 years old and gone by, and who cares?
Right.
And
we don't ever want to see the piece of scum again. That's the point. And they're going to bring him back because they're so desperate.
Yeah, no.
Because
I don't.
It's May sweeps now, and they're trying desperately to pump up the ratings, especially now that the Heat took it up the ass.
Yeah, listen, I learned one thing from you. I'm not a mindless slammy. You know, I used to watch as far as the news, you know, try to be updated, up to date, and, you know, the latest information. I'd live much better without watching the news.
Right.
I may be a little bit ignorant, but I'm much happier.
With the state of the world today, your ignorance is bliss.
And let me tell you, I'm probably the only guy on the face of the earth that didn't watch more than maybe if I watched 1 minute of that Columbine High School killing, that was a lot. I refused to be sucked into it.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it. And you know what? It didn't affect my life one bit. And I didn't feel all that negativity and the depression, which I couldn't control anyway. I feel much better.
Okay, well, listen, say hi to that ostrich right next to you.
All right, see ya.
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He said, bury your head in the sand because...
That's the American fucking way.
That's what he said. Just stick it in there real deep and don't pull it out, and your head too. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody mentioned young Elvis Presley as a beautiful man?
No. I guess his mother probably thought so. They used to sleep together. You know, Elvis and Gladys till he was, 25? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's...
No. No.
At the brown eye, does it do something to you? Why do you like enough? the reach around with your knees on the ground. Just one question for you. Why do you like Tina? He's gonna show me his baloney and ride me like a pony. He's a fiend for big wiggle. Man, what's wrong with Regino? Are you kinda gay? Who wants to know? So little gay. Who wants to know? You real gay? Who wants to know? Who wants to know? Are you sorta gay? Who wants to know? In a jail way? Who wants to know? Are you flaming gay? Who do you blow? Who do you blow? Are you kinda gay?
Yes.
No. So little gay.
Yes.
Who wants
Yes.
to know? Real gay?
Are you?
Who wants to know? Who wants to know? Are you sorta gay? Who wants to know? In a jail way?
For all you jock types out there, for all the jock sniffers that are tuning in, I'll tell you a beautiful man who, not anymore, I'm sure, because he's getting up there in years. Vince Ferragamo, remember, was the quarterback for Los Angeles Rams? He was beautiful. I used to, Phil Henry, what did he have to do with him? He knew him from out on the West Coast. And I said, boy, Vince Ferragamo, that was a good-looking guy. And he'd say,
Are you sure?
145 at 560 WQAM. Boca Brian, by the way, who's, of course, the expert at being rejected, tells us that when a woman says to a guy that she says that you're beautiful, that's a way of saying
No.
no. Yeah, that's what he says.
Oh, no wonder they never told me that.
And believe me, nobody in the universe has had said to him more than Boca Brian. Believe me when I tell you.
No.
Yeah. That's like I said before about somebody's cooking. Somebody cooks you a meal or recommends a restaurant, and they say, well, how did you like it? And you say, well, it was really interesting. Interesting, which means, yeah, it's tough. Here's a lady mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
How are ya?
Great.
Okay, I've got two. Unfortunately, they're both their faces are wasted now, but they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
Richard Chamberlain was.
Until they're beautiful.
Richard Chamberlain was pretty.
Very.
He was pretty, as in like, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
like that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I agree. And I think Christopher Walken was really pretty too, but his face is wasted now.
Yeah, from the neck down he was okay. Okay, sweetheart. Have a great day.
You too.
Time is a bitch. Time just, that's the way God works, okay? Everybody's got their 2 or 3 minutes when they look pretty good. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I always thought Boca Brian was really beautiful. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Oh, Neil?
Yes, sir.
How's it going, sir?
Great.
Mobile Miami here. You know who used to be a really good-looking guy that nobody ever knows anything about? Would be the guy who played Schultz on Hogan's Heroes. He was a handsome fellow.
The guy who played what?
Schultz on Hogan's Heroes.
Schultz?
You know, Schultz, I hear nothing, I see nothing.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh, right. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He was almost as beautiful as Al Goldstein. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Okay, sir.
Good. I don't know the gentleman's name, but I know what the song he sang was, You Better Work. What was that guy's name?
You Better Work?
Yeah,
RuPaul.
RuPaul. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
No.
Well, he's a man.
And he's a drag
beautiful.
queen. No, he's
Beautiful.
not. He's not beautiful at all because he wears a wig that makes him beautiful. He's like Dennis Rodman, okay? He's every homo's worst nightmare is the RuPauls and Dennis Rodmans of the world. God. RuPaul is beautiful? Man. Yeah, this guy's probably got Eddie Murphy's number in his Rolodex. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, you kick so much ass. You're awesome.
I know.
Rectum.
Before somebody pulled the ripcord and he blew up to 1,000 pounds, Marlon Brando was gorgeous.
No.
You don't think so?
No, to me, he always looked, he had that dumb look on his face. You know what I'm talking about? He had that, like, even without the cotton in his cheek, he had like the,
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Hey, Marty, what do you want to do? I don't know. He just had that real rough edge around him.
Oh, I thought he was
He was a
boxy.
good-looking guy, but you wouldn't say he was beautiful.
Yeah, well, he sure hit the wall.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, well.
Maybe it was maybe it was the last 200 pounds that did it.
Probably.
Okay.
Take care, Neil.
See ya. Maybe it was all that time he spent with Wally Cox that put him over the edge. Could that have been it?
Uh-huh.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're learning a lot here today, aren't we? Are we learning a lot or what? I'm learning I should have probably stayed home today. Would have been a big improvement over this. But not me. I'm a warrior, man. I just keep showing up and coming back for more and more. See what I mean? Can barely even function with like a little tickle in my throat. You know what would be good to soothe that little tickle in my throat, by the way? It's 11 before 2 at 560 WQM.